3, 2, 1. What is going on, guys? We are live in the DM. We back. I love it. I love live streams. Woo! You can't anticipate this stuff. Like, literally, I just bumped up my internet, like, company connection stuff to, like, super high so I wouldn't have live stream issues. And here we go. Are we live again? Can somebody give me an indication in the chat? Are we good to go? Are we good to go? Or are we all frozen up still? All right, so in case you missed that, because I was all frozen up on the screen for you, today, monster creation, we're going to be walking through creating monsters together. We're going to start off by tweaking, say, a low-level monster. It might be a kobold or something. We're going to increase the challenge rating. You might want to use kobolds for, like, a level 15 party, for instance, right? We're going to start off by tweaking low-level monsters, and then we're going to move into we're going to do some custom monster creation as well. Now, here's the thing, too. The rules are a little noodly and possibly complex, so we're going to walk through them. And by walking through them, as we actually create the things, then I think that is going to be a little bit more palatable for folks who may not be familiar with this. As always, this is a collaborative live stream. I have no intentions of just me sitting here creating monsters on my own. I can do that on my own time. This is for you all to contribute, give ideas, and let's make some monsters that you're all going to find fun. Now, as always, whatever we create tonight, I will create a downloadable, it's probably going to be a Word document, so that you guys can download it and use it in your games. You can tweak it. I have like a template as well in Word that I use for creating my monsters, so that will be available to you guys all as well. And I have some other announcements here. Want to make sure I get all this. So this stream right here is brought to you by Gorilla Tees. Now I'm going to show you guys. They are the sponsor of this stream. So we're gonna do a little bit of sponsor promoting stuff brought to you by Gorilla Tees. So if you guys notice these shirts that I wear in a lot of my streams, these are provided. I mean, I got these from Gorilla Tees like about a year and a half ago or so. And these things, like, you know how sometimes the shirts will, like, the screen printing will come off and get all, like, raggedy and stuff after washing it? Nothing. These are good shirts, guys. Anyway, stream brought to you by Gorilla Tees. You can get 15% off their apparel with the promo code Lair, and you guys can see they got like D&D shirts, they got disc golf shirts if you're into disc golf, Star Wars, dude. You guys, I actually asked for some. I ordered some of these Star Wars shirts. I want to wear this guy right here, this AT-AT one. That looks pretty cool. Anyway, stream sponsor. There you go. Quick little promo for those folks over there. Thanks for sponsoring it. And we're also going to be doing a giveaway tonight. Actually, we're going to be giving away two different things tonight. We're going to be giving away a shirt. So somebody is going to get a code to go and get a shirt from Gorilla Tees. So that's going to be one of the prizes that you can win tonight. And the second thing you can win are going to be some more of these tactical tokens. Those, let me see, these bad boys right here. Some of these tactical tokens from my man Dave over at tacticaltokens.com. He is offering up some of these bad boys. So the winner, there's going to be like a grand prize winner. One person, the grand prize winner, is going to be able to choose which he wants, if he wants tactical tokens or if he wants a shirt. And then the runner-up gets whatever's left over. That's kind of the way runners-up works, right? And this giveaway is only for people that are right here in the stream right now this morning. And at the end of the stream, we're going to pull the winners of the giveaway. So I will give you more details at another point in the stream about what you need to do to enter. You do need a secret password, the stream secret password to be able to enter. And so you're going to have to wait in anxious anticipation until I give you that password. So that is the way that works. And just a quick note, a lot of times I do these question and answer type streams. Today is not a question and answer stream. This is purely monster creation. If you have a question, a random question about D&D, then you're welcome to ask it, but I will only be taking those. I will only be answering those questions if it's via super chat. All right. So basically, if you throw money at me, I'm going to answer your question. Otherwise, we're going to keep this stream focused on monster creation because that's what I told you all we'd be doing, and I'd be a liar if we all of a sudden decided to go do something else. So, of course, I don't have a problem being a liar. I think I exaggerate quite a bit at times. All right, I need to get some tactical coffee, and then we will get into our first monster. And I haven't been paying attention to the chat, so I'll probably go zoom through the chat real quick and see what all we got going on. Oh, by the way, too, if you're catching this on the replay, hopefully we will be able to add some links down in the description to the different monsters that we created. And if we're especially lucky, one of our viewers after the fact will go and create some hyperlinks for me in a comment that I can just copy paste up there because, you know, I'm lazy. There's my tactical coffee. All right, rock and roll. Let's kick this off. Let's do some stuff. What are we doing? We are going to we're going to tweak an existing monster. That's the first thing that I want to do. So what I need you guys to do, we want a low-level monster. I need you guys to throw down in the chat ideas for low-level monsters that we can tweak. We're going to increase the challenge rating of a low-level monster. So throw ideas down in the chat. I'm going to be rolling dice to determine which monster we pick. This needs to probably be like CR1 or below. Let's go CR1 or below, something like that. There you go. Water Weird is like a CR2. That's going to get thrown out. I need low level, super low level, super low level. Lich King. Lich King. Espartano, ¿qué te pasa, hombre? Lich King is like too high level, buddy. All right, let's go. A limp goblin. All right, awakened tree, zombies. I see a couple zombies. I see a couple skeletons down there. I see a good morning. Well, good morning, River Mori. Good to see you here. Glad you can make it. Goblins. I see goblins. I see zombies. I see a few orcs down there. I see mephits. Whoa, I'm gonna have to. My cats are killing each other. You know, one of these days I'm gonna get a movable camera on an arm so that I can, like, you know, show the cats when they're killing each other. Because I have two cats right now, Squirty Pie and Squeaky, who are going at it. So this should be entertaining. Usually I'll just spin around in my chair and just like watch them for a few minutes as they go at it. It's pretty entertaining. All right, let's pick some stuff. I see a whole bunch of zombies going on down there. I told you I would roll for it. So, you know what? It's not going to take too long to do a zombie. That's their contract. So if Squeaky kills Squirty Pie was the one who was crying. If Squeaky kills Squirty Pie, then I think she becomes a zombie, right? So we need to make a cat zombie. I think a large cat zombie. I think we just decided what our first monster is going to be, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be a cat zombie. And then I'll roll the dice on this stuff. Let me roll the dice. Let me roll the dice, and we'll determine what monster number 2 will be. Because I did promise you all that I would roll the dice, and if I don't roll the dice, then y'all gonna be like, dude's a liar. He's lying. All right, let's roll some dice. So I'm gonna roll the dice. I'm using percentile dice because you guys are all throwing tons of ideas down here. And then I'm gonna count upward in the chat, and hopefully I don't get like a 70. I got a 25. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. A Gnoll. All right, a Gnoll. I'm going to write that down. I'll forget that. All right, a Gnoll. We are doing a Gnoll. So the first thing we're going to create is a cat zombie. And then the second thing that we will create is a Gnoll. All right, let me get my spreadsheet up. There's my spreadsheet. Let's go to our desktop view. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you all here so you can see what we got going on. Get rid of that bad boy right there. This is the Word document that we're going to be throwing everything in. I think that there are online tools where you can like input the information in and it'll print you off a nice little like stat block that looks exactly like the thing that you'll get out of the Dungeon Master Guide and stuff like that. The reason I'm not using those is basically I want this to be in Word so that you all can customize this stuff as you want. So I'm not going to be using one of those thingy bobbers. Although I've seen them and they look pretty cool. I have a plan to get like a mug that says Tactical Coffee on it or something. I think that'd be cool. All right, first monster is a cat zombie. All right, so we're gonna start off with a killer cat zombie. A killer cat zombie. We're going to start off with, actually, I think the way they usually do this is they say zombie and then they say killer cat, like a comma after it or something. Possibly. I don't know. Let's look at the let us look at, so by the way, folks, the rules we will be following as we're creating monsters is on page 273 of the Dungeon Master Guide. But the first thing we actually need to do, I need to pull up the monster manual, and because we're going to be looking at let me see, where is the monster manual? Monster manual. You know, I would love it if D&D Beyond would sponsor the stream, because then we could just go on there and do all this stuff, and that'd be awesome. But until that day comes, we are going to be using this stuff here, and we're going to find the zombie, and a zombie. I'm going to zoom in, zoomy. So a zombie is a CR 1/4. All right, ladies and gentlemen, basically the way this works is we need to pick what CR we want our killer cat zombie to be at. So, killer cat zombie, folks, I need you to throw some CR numbers down in the chat, and we will roll to see what CR we are going to target with our killer cat zombie. Give me some numbers. Give me some numbers. Gollum Doom, hello. How you doing, buddy? Miguel says, "Dear God, think of the cats." I have you guys, I have 6 cats, okay? We took in a family of strays because we have soft hearts. So, we have lots of cats. If a couple of them become zombies, I don't think we'd notice. All right, wow, we got some numbers here. All right, I'm rolling a D20, and then I'm picking a number. Here we go. Whoop, that was cocked. You have to trust me on that. A 2. Boop, boop. Okay, I got a 12. We are doing a level 12 cat zombie. All right, so we're going to go down here. So down here, our challenge rating that we're aiming at is level 12. And a CR 12 creature has, and I'm on page 275 of the Dungeon Master Guide. I'm just going to, actually, you know, I could probably, I have the book on my desk, but you all probably want to see what I'm looking at. So we should probably do it on screen. So basically, there are lots of tables here that we're going to be using today. So a CR 12 has 8,400 XP for it. So, I mean, I'm just going to fill some of this bad stuff in. I'm not going to fill in all of this stuff, you guys. Honestly, some of this is probably, whatever doesn't change from, like, the normal stuff, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, like, filling in every last little detail on here, because that's just going to slow the stream down. So we'll get the basic information on this bad boy, and then we'll rock and roll with that. So Killer Cat Zombie, the size, how big is this thing? It's a Killer Cat Zombie. So let's assume that it was something like a lion or a tiger that got turned into a zombie. I think the size for that would be large. The type is undead. The alignment, what is a zombie? What are they normally? Are they neutral? Something tells me that zombies might be neutral because they just take orders from their master. Yeah. They're neutral evil. Okay. Neutral evil. All right, there we go. Neutral evil. Neutral evil. All right, armor class. Armor class. We got to decide the armor class. We got to decide the hit points. So here's the thing. When we are creating, so if we're going to tweak this to level 12, the way this works is there is this little charty bobber here. And the challenge rating of a creature is primarily determined by 2 things. Its offensive challenge rating and its defensive challenge rating. And then what you do is you take the average of those 2 things, and that will give us its total, its estimated total challenge rating. It's going to be the challenge rating that we put on the sheet. So I made a little spreadsheet here to kind of illustrate how this works. So let's just pretend that its defensive challenge rating is a 15. And then it's off. Actually, a zombie would have a lower defensive. Usually zombies are pretty easy to hit. Well, they have a low AC, but they might have more hit points. So let's say that the defensive challenge rating is a 12. And if the offensive challenge rating is also a 12, our average CR is a 12. What were we aiming for? I forget. We were aiming for something. We were aiming for a 12. So this would be really easy, but let's make it a little bit spicier. Let's say the defensive challenge rating is only a 10. And then let's make its offensive challenge rating a 14. There we go. So that's what we're going to aim for. We're going to aim for a defensive challenge rating of 10, a little easier to hit and whatnot, But the zombies do a lot of damage because they bite your throats out, especially a killer cat zombie. It's going to pounce on you and it's going to bite your throat out. We're actually probably, because we're turning a cat into a zombie, we're going to want to reference the stat block for a cat as well, I think. So we'll probably take a look at that because I think some of the cats have things like pounce, I think, as a special ability that gives them something extra. So we're probably going to want to have that as well in our stat block. All right, so let's take a look at our chart and see what we're going to do here. So if I want so I'm going for I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you guys all can see a little bit better. Might be helpful. I want to be able to see these column headings. So if I'm going for a CR10, and I'm looking for my defensive challenge rating, then I'm looking for about somewhere a little over 200 hit points, and then an armor class of 17. However, we don't actually want our armor class to be that high for a zombie. We want our armor class to be a little bit lower. I'm going to aim for an armor class for a cat. Now, a big, huge cat, they're pretty agile. I'm going to say that a killer cat zombie has some agility, so he's going to have a higher armor class than a normal zombie. Let's aim for an armor class of 13. Okay, so if we're aiming for an armor class of 13, which is, I think a normal zombie has an armor class of 8. So this is quite a bit better than a normal zombie, but it's a big killer cat, so I think it's understandable. We're going to aim for an armor class of 13, and then the way this works, basically, if I were to pick the hit points between 200 and let's say the hit points were 206, that would put the CR for it at a 10. But because my armor class is a 13, which is way down here, once you pick the hit points, for every 2 points of difference in armor class, like down, the CR is going to go down by 1. So the normal armor class for a CR10 is 17. And I'm actually going to make it a 13, which is a difference of 4. That means that because there's a difference of 4, I'm going to adjust that CR down by 2. So if I pick 206 hit points and adjust the CR down by 2, I'm actually hitting a CR of 8. So I don't want to do that. I actually want to have more hit points. I want to have my hit points right here in the 236 to 250 range, because then when I take my armor class of 13, which is 4 fewer, and adjust my CR down by 2, instead of a CR of 12, I'm going to have a CR of 10. So 236 to 250 is the amount of hit points that we want to have for this guy. Bam. And we usually don't give a hit point range, so we're just going to pick a number. I usually like to keep my hit points even. Whatever. I usually, when I'm tracking hit points that a monster has taken during combat, I round up and round down from the hit points, the damage that my players do, because then I can use tally marks to track hit points of monsters, and it makes my life a lot easier and combat run a lot faster. And so I'm always rounding when I'm tracking monster damage in combat, and so it doesn't, to me, it's just as easy if I just make an even number of hit points. Some folks might think that that's not realistic or something. That's fine. If you want to be a little bit more nitty-gritty about it, or noodly, or detailed, that's perfectly fine. But that's the way I do it. All right. So we have the hit points, 240 hit points. Now this right here is where you would put the dice, how many hit point dice it has, and then a plus modifier. You guys, this is not necessary. This is completely unneeded in most cases. The only time when this would actually matter is if your monster survived and took like a short rest maybe and used hit dice to get hit points back. But for the most part, the hit dice doesn't really matter mechanically in the game that I'm aware of. Now, if I'm wrong, please correct me, because I'm wrong a lot, I think. But if you want to know how to do this, I mean, I'm not going to go into the details, but it's kind of explained in the rules. Since it's not super useful or necessary, I don't think it's worth our time talking about it. But there is a table I'll just point you at. It does tell you the hit dice by size. And since we have a large creature, we would be talking about a D10 of hit points. And so I could just throw a D10 up here, And the way this works is a D10 has an average of 5.5. So I would do something, like if I'm aiming for 240 hit points, and I have a D10 so I'd do like 240 divided by, 5.5. This is not accurate. This is not actually whoops, that's not the right way to do it. This is not super accurate. It's like 43. So let's do 40. So I'll do 5.5 times 40, and then I got 220. So I might say that its hit points are what did I say that was? I'm forgetting it now. 40. So 40d10 plus 20, which is not, you probably wouldn't do it this way. You'd probably have it be more like 30d10 plus 50 or something. But again, it doesn't really matter. This is pretty pointless, so I don't really care a whole lot about that. Once I know how many hit points it has, I'm ready to rock and roll. So we have our hit points, and it is, where'd that go? That is a CR 10 for our defensive challenge. Oh, that's the wrong table. It's a CR 10 for our defensive challenge rating, and what we were aiming for the offensive challenge rating was what were we aiming for? A 14, right? Yeah, we're aiming for a 14. So the way we get that number then is we're going to use this same column right here, and we are in the offensive column, and we're going to go down to 14. And in order to be a CR 14 offensive, it needs to do 87 to 92 damage per round. Now I want to, you know what I want to look at? So let me copy that down, and it's going to have a +8 to attack. So let's write this down here. So we're going to do that. We're going to copy that. And then, so that's how much damage, and then it'll have a +8 to attack. We have to do a little bit of calculations. We need to break this down. And the way that we're going to be breaking this down is we're modeling this off from a cat. So we're going to take a look at the stat block for a cat over in the monster manual. So miscellaneous creatures, we're going to find like a lion, or let's do a lion. I'm sure there's a lion back here. This is alphabetical. If I knew how to use the search function, I'd probably find this a lot faster. But because I don't, woo, I found it. All right, here we go. Yes, it has some stats here. It has some interesting features that we're going to use because so a killer cat from a lion. Now this doesn't actually have multi-attack at all. So we're going to give it multi-attack because right now this lion is only a CR 1. And it only does 7, it only attacks once, and it does 7 points of damage per round. So we actually need to give our monster multi-attack. So I already have this written down right here. So we will say the creature makes, we're going to say 3 attacks. 3 attacks per round. 3 attacks. And we will say, it's a cat, so I'm envisioning claw, bite. I mean, that's the most reasonable thing. So we'll say makes 3 attacks, 2 claw attacks, and 1 bite attack. There we go. And now what we need to do is we need to break out the damage for each of those attacks. So we'll say a claw, and then down here we will say a bite. AJ Silver, yes, hit dice are for healing during short rests. So if it's normal in your game that creatures survive an encounter with the players, then yeah, you might actually need to know how many hit dice they have so they can heal up and whatnot. For the most part, in my experience, creatures usually don't survive an encounter with the players. If something goes down, the creatures are usually going to die. But if you need the hit dice, you can figure them out and have them available for you. So we have a claw and we have a bite. Now, we need to hit an average of about 90. We're going to say we're going to aim for 90 damage per round. So we're going to split that 90 damage between those 3 attacks, the 2 claws and a bite. So let's just imagine that each claw does about 20 hit points of damage. That puts us at 40, and then the bite would do 50. No, that's probably not reasonable. Let's say the claws each do 25, and then the bite does 40. Is that more reasonable? That's not too bad. I kind of like the idea of the claws doing less and then the bite doing more. And is that kind of what they did in the normal stat block for Lion? The bite does a little bit more. It doesn't do that much more. So what if we were to do, and this is where it just comes up to your own personal preferences and judgments and when you're deciding these things. So let's say 30. So if each of the claws does 30, then that gives us 60. Up to 90 is going to be 30, right? Oh, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I don't want them to be the same. So we're going to do that. We'll do 25, 25, and 40. So a claw is going to hit for 25 points of damage, and a bite, and we're going to have these be +8s to hit for each of them. And the reason I chose +8 to hit is just from our little table bobber. A CR 14 usually has a +8 to its attack bonus, and that is how I got that. So now the hit on a bite is 50. Now here's the next thing. I use average damage in my games, so I would probably stop here. This is all I need to know. When I'm running a monster, I'm using average damage, so if the claw hits, then it's 25 damage. And I don't roll any dice because that speeds up my combat a whole lot. When I'm running, say, 8 different creatures on my round in a combat, when I have to roll dice, damage dice for each one of those, and then count them up, and then tell them to my players, 8 of those, that makes things slow down a lot. So I use average damage because it speeds things up amazingly. Now my players still roll their dice because they love their dice. I use average damage. I would stop here, but I think most people roll damage dice for the monsters, and so we're going to figure this out. Basically, this is just a matter of trial and error, in all honesty. We're going to choose a die size, for our claw attack. What do you guys think? What kind of die size would a claw attack make? I'm thinking like a D10. Wait, hold on. Somebody just said something. Joshua says, zombie cats should have a hairball attack. Oh, that's awesome, dude. Okay, we're going to do that. We're doing that. Hairball attack. All right, we'll get to that in a second. I love that. That is sweet. All right, a D8 would be fine. I'm going to use a D10. So now the average on a D10 is a 5.5. So again, we're going to go over and do some math. We're going to like, average this out. So if I have a 5.5, I'm trying to get to 25. So my goal is 25. So if I do 3 times 5.5, I'm at 16.5 plus 10. There we go. So I could say it's 3d10 plus 10. There we go. And so this could be 3d10 plus 10. And that will come out to be an average of 25. Now I could also, if I didn't want to have the plus be quite so high, because you could argue that plus 10 is pretty high and might be a little bit lower, then what I might do is I might do 4 times 5.5 for a 22, and then I could say that it's then, but see then it goes down to a 4d10 plus 3, which seems a little lame. I'm okay with having a nasty monster like this cat zombie, having a 3d10 plus 10 claw damage, and that's going to average out to 25. So that's it. That's how you do that. And then now for the bite, I wanted to use D12s for the bite because D12s don't get used a whole lot in the game, and so I want to make sure they get their time in the limelight. So there we go. I mean, we're just following the rules. Trick Trade says, how tough is this thing supposed to be? We're following the rules out of the book. That's what we're doing. Yes, D&D equals fantasy accounting. Now, one of the things, and the Dungeon Master Guide says this too, is that after you stat these things out, that you should really play test them to see if they're more or less the challenge rating you want them to be. Because it could be that this cat zombie is a killer beast that is way harder than other things. Another thing that we can do as well, once we get this statted out, we can go over to another CR12 monster and kind of see how it compares and see if it feels a little too overpowered or too underpowered. So that's another thing you can do. You can always compare things and use kind of a gut check to see if maybe you come in a little too hot and if this thing's actually way more powerful than that. So another thing to keep in mind too, guys, is that we are working out the average damage. But if these things are going up against a party of this is a CR12. So when I deploy a CR12, it's going to be in a group of CR12s. And they're probably going to be going against a party of level 15 or so. And a party of level 15 is going to have enough defenses and armor class that a +8 to hit might not even hit your fighters and paladins a whole lot. And so we're just doing average damage, but you can pretty much assume that this isn't going to hit them every single time. And they're going to be probably level 15 by the time they come across the CR12. And so they're going to have some hit points too, you know. So there's different things to keep in mind. But yeah, this is going to be a nice little undead kitty cat for us to go against our players. We were going to determine our damage dice for the 50 for the bite attack. So let's go over to our fantasy accounting ledger, and we're just gonna estimate. So the average on a D12 is, what is it? What's the average on a D12? Hold on, I'm having a moment. I think there's a table for that. Here it is. The average on a D12 is 6.5. There we go. So let's go back over to our fantasy ledger, and we're gonna guess 5. 5 times 6.5, that's 32. That's probably not enough. So let's do 6. That's 39. That's not too bad. There we go. Plus 11. We'll just make it plus 10. I make things easy. So it's going to be 6d12 plus 10. 6d12 plus 10. And the reason I like to keep these numbers round, you guys, is that it makes my life easier when I'm running the game. If I have to do math with like weird numbers like a 7, you know, that is just it's going to take a fraction of a second longer for me to do things. Whereas if I roll some dice and I roll a 23 and I add a 10 to it, it's 33. It makes my job easier when I'm running the game at the table. I'm always looking for ways to make game flow smoother at the table, so my players are not waiting on me to do something like calculate math and junk like that, so that everything just goes smoother and quicker and is more enjoyable. I'm looking to enhance the game experience by cutting down on things that require like cognitive ability, because, you know, brain doesn't work that well all the time. And a Dungeon Master is juggling so many things that really, if we can cut out some of the math, then let's cut out some of the math, I think. So, there you go. I needed more coffee. I'm getting low on coffee. And I've drunk a lot of coffee, which is probably not a good sign. It's going to mean I'm going to be running upstairs where my bathroom is. All right. I haven't been paying attention to the chat a whole lot. We need to, oh yeah, the hairball, John Cervelis, yes, the hairball breath attack needs to have a recharge. We will definitely give it a recharge, for sure. The 57th Alfera says he failed his math final yesterday. Please no more math. You know, yesterday was the last day of school for my daughter, too. I don't think she had her math exam yesterday. She had it at some point, but I feel you, man. This is like, this type of math, though, I think is probably 5th grade level, I think. So, but it is a Saturday morning. It's early on a Saturday morning, especially for some folks. Well, if you're over in Europe or something, it's not. But if you are on the East Coast, if you're over on like California or somewhere down there, give me like a hashtag East Coast or something down in the chat. I want to see how many people got up like at 5 a.m. or some crazy number like that to hang out with us. I think, what would it be over in California right now? It's 8 o'clock right now. It's 8:30 right now where I am in East Coast. Then I think they're a 4-hour difference. So is that like a 4 a.m. or something? Woo! That'd be crazy. All right. So I think what we have done then is, I don't think we need this anymore, because we already did that. We have a multi-attack. We have the claw attack figured out. Oh, we got to change this. The bite attack is not a ranged weapon attack. It's a melee weapon attack. The reach on this. What should the reach be? That's interesting. Let's go over to the lion and see what kind of, it has a 5-foot reach on each of those. So, okay, the reach will be 5 foot. That's fine. So we're gonna just copy paste that bad boy right there and make the reach 5 feet. It's one target. We got the damage. All right, we need to figure out a hairball attack, you guys. And what's the recharge? Let's do a 5 to 6 for the recharge. And the way recharge works, ladies and gentlemen, in case this is new to you, which it might be, because I think we have lots of new DMs. Cali is the West Coast. Oh. Yeah, you know, I've always had trouble figuring out, like, you know, which way is west and which way is east. I actually use the never eat soggy worms thing all the time, so that I'm like, okay, which way is west? Never eat west over there, and this is east. All right, so I'm East Coast. Cali is the West Coast. It's too early for Luke. It is early. I usually get up at like 5 o'clock in the morning though to go to work every day. So 8 o'clock is nothing, it's not too bad. Even on the weekends, you guys, I get up at 6 o'clock because I got stuff I'm going to be working on and doing whatnot. Next weekend I'll be like doing video editing and crap because my batch recording is this week. So there you go. So is anybody on the West Coast? That's what I'm asking. All right. Hairball attack. What the heck is a hairball attack? What does this do, you guys? Like, I need ideas in the chat for what this even does. Is this akin to like a fireball? Is it so if it's spitting out a hairball, what does that hairball do? Does it like on impact it like blows up, and maybe it's similar to a web spell where it hits and then goes, and there's a chance like in a 20-foot radius that everybody is affected by a web spell. That would actually make it easier for us to design this, because if we're just emulating a spell that already exists. But what do you guys think? Flaming sphere of acid damage, entangle. Ooh, here's the thing too. In combat, when you have a creature that does like just all damage, well then it's just really a war of attrition and things might get a little boring. But if you have a creature that has a special ability that does something interesting like entangle or a web, well then you have something more dynamic in the battle. And the players are no longer concerned with just attacking and killing the creature. Now they're worried about getting out of the web. I can't move anymore, right? And so it changes the dynamics of the battle a little bit and makes things more interesting. So I kind of like the idea of that. We're saying entangles. I see a lot of entangles. Web is pretty much the same thing as entangles. Nature killer hairball. Bludgeoning damage and knockback and web. We could do that. We could do a little bit of bludgeoning damage and then throw a web on top of it as well. We could do that. Frightened condition, poison and acid, necrotic, saliva. Oh, the saliva. That's a good point. David Wilson has a good point. He says acid damage because of the saliva and being a zombie, or maybe necrotic because of the saliva. I like necrotic because the saliva gets on you and it like starts to eat into your skin or something, and it causes your skin to decay. Eating into your skin would be like acid damage. So it causes your skin to decay would be necrotic damage. I think stomach acid. Yeah, I think we have worked ourselves into it being Joshua Solt. What's up, dude? Well, he's probably been here a while. I just noticed you. I've been looking over here creating a monster, so I haven't had a chance to look down in the chat too much. All right, here we go. We are going to do a hairball attack. All right, let's not delete that quite yet. We might want to use that for reference. So I'm getting low on coffee. Somebody needs to order me. Does like Starbucks deliver? I don't like Starbucks, actually. I have Big B here. We use Big B. I'm in Michigan, so we use Big B. It used to be called Beaners, but my understanding is there were some lawsuits involved, and they had to change that name. This was a while ago, though. Let me see. What do we got going on here? We were doing a hairball attack. So how should we word this? Let's see. The creature spits a giant loogie. A giant hairball up to how far should it be able to spit this thing? 30 feet is a pretty good number. If it's going to hack this thing up and eject it, I think 30 feet is reasonable. I wouldn't go too much more than that. Up to 30 feet away. It explodes in a 20 foot radius. I don't know. English is hard. 20-foot radius. Affecting creatures in that area we're gonna call it the web spell. Y'all are. I saw a bunch of people saying entangle, which respect. But entangle usually causes things to sprout out from the ground and stuff. Web seems to fit the idea of the hairball squirting all over you a little bit better, in my opinion. So I'm gonna go with the web spell for this particular one. Affecting creatures in that area per the spell Web. Furthermore, how much damage should it do? How much damage does this bad boy want to do? Now, we don't want to get too nasty, guys, because we're already going to, we need to determine a difficulty class, a CR, a DC, a saving throw DC as well for this web spell. But we need to determine some damage for it. I don't want to go crazy on the damage. I want this to be more like a special little thing where it can just, maybe it should do the same, like half, maybe the same damage as a claw attack, right? Maybe like a claw attack, a 20-foot area. So maybe not 20 feet because that might be too large. 20 feet, yeah, I agree. That might be too large. A 10 to 15-foot radius. Let's do a 15-foot radius. How does that sound? Let's do 15. 15-foot radius sphere. Oh, that's the wrong one. Woo, woo. I'm upgrading the wrong one. 15-foot radius sphere. There we go. Let's make the damage about the same as the claw damage. Furthermore, it causes, I'm gonna copy paste this. Literally copy pasting this. Oh, the claw should be slashing damage. I didn't notice that. Claw should be slashing damage. The bite, we have piercing damage. So it's going to causing 25 blah, 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 blah. Necrotic damage to those in the area. All right. We gotta make a DC for this. What do we got? So CR 14 is a DC 18. I'm sure you're right. But for reference, for what Tashio is throwing down, he is referring to our table right here. And if we look across for a CR 14, which is the offensive challenge rating that we're going for, we can definitely see that the save DC is an 18. And so we're just going to say the DC is an 18. The saving throw DC is 18. And we're just going to use that per the web spell. And there you go. So that's a nice saving. That's a good saving throw. But remember, we're probably going to be using a CR 12 monster against level 15 characters, more or less. Okay, and so at level 15, your saving throws are going to be pretty decent. So I'm not too worried about having a high saving throw. We're not throwing this against level 1s or something. You know what I'm saying? I'm out of coffee. My cat's down here, but he's not getting coffee for me. All right, the other thing we wanted to note about the hairball effect, you guys, is this damage that it's causing. Because it's an area of effect, it's more than likely going to cause that damage to more than one creature. And that's important because we have to find the average damage per round of this thing. And if it shoots its hairball attack, what we usually assume for like a 15-foot radius, that's a decent radius. It's going to hit at least. We're going to make some basic assumptions. This is where you just got to kind of hypothesize. I can't even say that word. You have to hypothesize and kind of hitting my pop filter. It's going to hit either 2 creatures or maybe 3 creatures. Now, if it hits 2 creatures and it shoots a hairball attack on one round, that's going to do an average of like 50 damage, which is kind of low for the average of 90 damage we were aiming for. If it hits 3 creatures, then that damage is going to be like 75, which is pretty close to 90. And with a 15-foot radius, I'm going to wager that it's going to be able to hit probably 3 of the PCs. And so I'm okay with this damage amount. And it's going to either multi-attack or it's going to do a hairball attack, right? And so I think we have this fairly well balanced. It's a little low on the damage side, but it's doing that web effect, which is pretty important. So I think I'm okay with that. All right. That's pretty decent. There we go. And we gave it a hairball attack. It's not going to have any reactions. We don't need to have any special reactions. I mean, we could. We're changing this into a CR12, but let's not mess with that right now. What about special abilities? Does it have any special abilities? We mentioned. We had looked at our cat over here, and it has keen smell. Let's give it these things. So this is where having this document here comes in handy, because I can go over here and I can go boop and waka laka. Waka laka? Where'd that come from? What does that mean? I'm just weird noises coming out today, ladies and gentlemen. So it has keen smell, and that's not italicized. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. We'll say the creature has advantage on wisdom, perception checks that rely on smell. Oh, the other thing we have to do as well, we got to determine its proficiency bonus and determine if it has any different saves, because its saves might be better. And I have a bunch of this stuff kind of thrown in here. This is from another example. But we're going to be changing all of its saving throws. We'll determine if it has any skills. It probably does have some skills. If it has any resistances or immunities, we got it. So there's a few other things here maybe we're going to look at. It has keen smell, pack tactics. Ooh, that's nasty. Ooh, what does pack tactics do? Now this is interesting, guys. We're actually getting into a little bit more advanced of monster creation now, because pack tactics actually might influence the challenge rating of something that we just did. And there is a table. There's a big, bad, massive table here, if I can scroll to it. And we're going to look up pack tactics and see if it's on here. It is. So pack tactics, it says here that if you give a monster pack tactics, it increases the monster's effective attack bonus by 1. So that would increase its attack bonus. What page was this on? 273. And so if we increase its effective attack bonus to a 9, that's not that bad. That's not a big deal. That doesn't actually change the offensive CR at all. So that's okay for us to add that pack tactics to it. So let's do that. Let's give it pack tactics, because cool. So I'm just copy pasting stuff over, ladies and gentlemen, because that's the way it's done. Saves me some typing. And then we are going to boom, boom. Just doing some little bit of formatting here. Things don't copy paste perfectly. And there we go. Now it has pack tactics, and we're going to, instead of saying the lion, we're going to say the creature. And what was the other thing that it had? Because our zombie was created from a cat, I'm really just kind of assuming that it has the same abilities as a cat. It has a running leap, and it has a pounce. All right, I'm just going to copy those things over. Because we picked zombie, right? Because we picked zombie, that we're basically applying a zombie template on top of a normal cat's ability, which means that we also, there's something else for the zombie that we need to decide as well. So we got this stuff over here. Whoops. Woo, woo, woo. All right. Just to do some basic formatting. I actually probably don't need to copy all this over right now, because you all can do this on your own, but we're almost there, so we might as well finish it off. There we go. Boom. And the pounce. Let's look at the pounce. We might have to adjust the pounce, because we're turning this into a CR12, so we might have to adjust the pounce a little bit. If the lion moves at least 20 feet toward a creature and then hits it with a claw attack on the same turn, that creature must succeed on a DC 13 strength saving throw, be knocked prone. Okay. Again, what I want to look at is I want to see if that affects it might not have it in here. It might have a pounce in here. I'm not sure if it's gonna increase the damage a little bit. I don't want to mess with tweaking these things, so I'm going to take away the pounce. We could just make it pretty low. We could make it pretty low. Actually, let's do that, you guys. Let's leave the strength saving throw at DC 13, because the PCs are almost assuredly, most of them would kind of make that, especially if they're a fighter or a barbarian. At the levels they're going to encounter a CR12, which means that I think leaving it low will help justify not tweaking some of our damage and stuff, because I did not want to get too super complicated into the very first example of how to tweak enemies or tweak monsters. So we're going to leave the pounce like that, and I think that's okay. Now, fast zombies. I think we are dealing with a faster zombie, guys, because it's a cat. It's a zombie cat. It's probably a little bit slower than a normal hunting cat, but let's take a look at this. So a normal, like a lion, usually has a speed of 50. So it's a zombie lion or a zombie killer cat. So what is a reasonable speed? What do you guys think? Give me a speed. Throw me some ideas for a speed. Should it be 20, 30, 40? Typically in Dungeons & Dragons, zombies are a little bit slower than whatever they were created from, right? But this is a zombie cat, and cats are pretty quick and agile and stuff. So I think we should have something that kind of corresponds to that. We've got some 40s, 45s, a 35, a 40, 45. I'm gonna go see what to do. Wah, bop, 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 bop. All right, what do we got? I see lots of things around 30s. I see some 30s and stuff. I see some 35s, 40s. All right, let's say 35 feet. I see some 40s, so we're going to say 35. That's kind of splitting the difference. Never split the difference. That's a good book, actually. That's a really good book on negotiating. It's called Never Split the Difference. Chris... the first name of the author is Chris. I forget his last name, but excellent book. This dude he worked for, was it the FBI's terror negotiation unit or something? Something like that. Chris Vogue, I don't know, something like that. Anyway, really good book. Never Split the Difference. Just in case you're interested in learning how to negotiate better. So there you go. That's a totally random tangent, which I think we're used to around here. So we have 35 feet movement speed. We have not determined any of these characteristics as well. I don't know how noodly we want to get if we want to go into all this stuff here. But one of the things I wanted to look at, a zombie. One of the things we have to do this because we created this from a zombie, is zombies have this undead fortitude thing. And they have some immunities as well. Zombies are immune to poison, and they're immune to the poison condition. And they also have dark vision out to 60 feet. So let's throw that stuff in. So damage immunities, poison. Come on, I can type. Poison, and the condition immunity is going to be poisoned. There we go. And then, dark vision out to 60 feet. So we're going to dark vision, 60 feet. Their passive perception, we're going to be lazy. The passive perception is going to be like zombies usually have really bad wisdom. These are cats, and they have hunting senses, So like if we look at this, we have this like keen smell, which gives me advantage on wisdom perception checks. I'm going to say that its passive perception is a 14. Let's make it a little higher than a normal zombie because we do have a hunting cat with like smell. And so we want to take that sort of thing into account when we're doing our creatures here. What do we got? So F Park says since it's a cat, maybe the dark vision could be 70 or 80 feet. Do cats normally have better vision? Oh, you're right. You're right because cats, have like really good low light vision. Oh, you're totally right, dude. We could just double it. We could just say 120 feet because, drow have 120 feet dark vision. So I think it's reasonable for a hunting cat who became undead to have double the dark vision of like a standard character. So I like that. That's a good idea, dude. All right, what else we got going on here? Languages. I don't think it speaks any languages. So we're just going to put a little thingy bobber there. No languages. And what else did we need to do here? Saving throws. So this is, you guys, okay, proficiency bonus. Let's figure out our proficiency bonus over on our table. What page was that? This is page 281. I have been coming back to this page a little bit. I want to make sure I write that down. That's going to help me jump around a little bit. 274. So for a CR12 creature, our proficiency bonus is a +4. Okay, we have a +4 to our proficiency bonus. And the reason that matters is that if we're determining its saving throws, then let's go over to let's find our hunting cat again. I'm going to try to find it. I'm just going to search for it. Maybe I can find it Look at that. Look at that. Luke learned how to use the search feature. All right. So these are I don't think I'm going to be able to copy paste these extremely well. But our dexterity is a 15 and a +2. I'm going to write this down over here. So it's a 15 and then a +2, and I may or may not fill all of these in right now just for the sake of time. Now, here's the thing though, a zombie usually has a decreased dexterity than the base creature from what it was made. So I wouldn't give it a 15. I'm going to lower this down to a 13, we'll say, and we'll make it a +1. Now, its proficiency bonus, I think we'd established, was a +4. Was it a +4? Yes, it was a +4. And so its dexterity saving throw, I think that a cat zombie would have a higher dexterity saving throw than just a +1. So I'm going to apply its proficiency bonus, which is a 4, and add the 1 onto it, and we're going to get a +5 to dexterity. Now, the other type of thing, if we're creating a zombie, I think that a zombie, if we're gonna pick two things for it to have saving throw proficiencies in, I think the second thing that it would be proficient in is a Constitution saving throw, because it is a zombie. So let's go over to a hunting cat and see what its normal Constitution is. A 13 plus a 1. And so let's pop back over here. And 13 plus a 1. But I kind of feel like if you become an undead zombie, you're actually becoming much more hardy, much more vigorous, and you can take a whole lot more damage and punishment. So I think we're going to increase our Constitution. Let's just, for kicks, let's throw up to a 15, and that'll become a +2. And now, if I'm going to do my Constitution saving throw, I have my proficiency bonus of 4 plus my 2 for con, and that is going to give me a 6. And so now we have 2 saving throw proficiencies that it has that are going to be better than normal. Now, these guys right here, the strength, the intelligence, the wisdom, and the charisma, these things right here, actually, let me do a thing. I'm going to take a screenshot of this so that I don't have to keep like going back and forth all over the place to reference this for you all. There we go. I'm just going to fill these in real quick. The strength is a 17. That's nice. That's a good strength. And the intelligence, a 3. I think that's reasonable. I don't know what zombies normally have for intelligence, but a 3 is, a wisdom is a +1. We're gonna lower that. We're gonna lower that because zombies usually have pretty bad. What's an 8? An 8 is a -1, I think. Modifier, charisma. Oh yeah. What does a zombie have for charisma normally? I don't know. We're gonna give it a charisma of 6. I don't know. What is? I think that's a -3. Is that a -3? I might be getting these wrong. If I'm getting these wrong, somebody better tell me. What is a charisma of 6? Is that a -3 or -2? No, that's got to be like a -2, right? I think that's a -2. And I wonder what an ogre, not an ogre. I wonder what a zombie normally has. So that's 331. A zombie normally has a charisma of 5. A 5, which is a -3. Let's just make it a 5 and have it a -3. Because I don't think it's going to have any higher charisma. All right, there we go. We got that stuff filled in. What do we got over here? Zombie has 5 for charisma. Okay, there we go. I think we're good on that. Let's see. Skills. I think the only thing that I want to give it skills in, stealth makes sense. And perception. I think that's what we're going to do. We're just going to give it proficiencies in perception and stealth. Stealth is based on dexterity, which is a +1, so I'm going to give it a 5 because our proficiency bonus was a 5. Perception is wisdom, which is going to be a -1 plus its proficiency bonus, so I'm going to have a 3. So my perception is a +3. Actually, my passive perception is a 14, so I should actually lower my passive perception down to a 13. There we go. There we go. That works. All right, guys, how are we doing? Do we have anything else that we forgot to do on this guy? I think we may be done. What did we miss? We've spent like 45 minutes or so on this bad boy. I really want to be done with this one. We can go on to something else. Damage resistances. I don't think we need to add any damage resistances to this. Typically, a zombie doesn't have resistances to like slashing damage or anything like that. So I'm going to take that off. I don't think we need to add that. Because that's going to cause us to have to change our calculations again. Oh, yes, you're right. Undead Fortitude. Totally forgot that. All right, let's go back to that. What would a zombie be without Undead Fortitude? Be like, this guy doesn't know how to create monsters. A zombie without this is not a zombie. So we're going to copy paste this bad boy. Right over here. And dun 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 dun. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get that over there. And one of my cats is down here, wants attention. Mommy cat is rubbing against me, wants some attention. All right, Undead Fortitude. If damage reduces the zombie to 0 hit points, it must make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 5 plus the damage taken, unless the damage is radiant or from a critical hit. On its success, the zombie... Okay, that's it. We don't have to do anything else to that. I wonder, though, if... Let's go over and see if that changes anything. Because that might change things a little bit. 287... Where is this? I went way too far. I am all over the place here. 273. I'm just gonna have to scroll down to it. I don't know why that didn't work. I wrote that number down and then it doesn't want to go there. What I'm wondering is if Undead Fortitude changes. Oh wow, look at this. It says increase the monster's effective hit points based on the expected challenge rating. And our expected challenge rating is right here between 11 and 16. So we would increase its hit points by 21. So it's actually going to have 21 more hit points than we said it would. And 21 hit points is going to put it at like 260 effectively. We're not actually changing it here. It makes its effective hit points 260. And if its effective hit points goes up to 260, then let's go back to this guy here. If it goes up to 260, then it just bumped it into a CR 13 for our defensive challenge rating. Whoa. So we got bumped from a 10? We got bumped from a 10? Wait a second. Did I? Where was I at? I had 200. How much did I have normally? Oh, it shouldn't have 240. It shouldn't have 240. I was aiming for a CR10. Or did I add something to it? I'm getting confused now. This is definitely going to change things. It will definitely change things. So what we're going to do, because I'm effectively gaining 20 hit points because of Undead Fortitude, so that I don't have to redo all of my numbers, I'm just going to change its hit points to 220. I'm cheating a little bit. I am not necessarily following the rules, but that is the life of a dungeon master, especially when I don't want to have to recalculate everything. But I think that should account for it. I think that should get us pretty close to where it should be. So, all right. There we go. I think we have finished one of these things. All right. Yes, this is what... So, Stratomatic Delaware says he loves the cat. Now you know what it is capable of. Absolutely. My killer cat zombie. So I have lots of cats all around me staring at me right now too. They expect that I'm going to be petting them, and they don't realize that I'm kind of busy. But if one of them becomes a zombie, then it definitely is going to have these stats. I don't know how we would play test that, but we can figure that out. All right, next. I think we had rolled up a Gnoll. We had determined earlier at the beginning of the stream that the next thing we would do would be a Gnoll. So we're going to take a Gnoll and we're going to change the challenge rating on it. We're going to increase it a little bit. And we're going to make this time, it's going to be a little bit simpler, I think. We're going to try to make this a little bit less complicated. We actually, what I was planning on doing is for our very first example, choosing something simple, right, instead of something complex, and we actually ended up picking something fairly complex to do, which was not my intention, but I guess it kind of does serve as a pretty good example. So we will be doing Gnoll. First thing though, I want to just we have to do some little plugs of junk on our stream here so that you guys are all aware of junk. So just in case you guys don't know, I publish free D&D adventures and inexpensive D&D adventures for you all. The first, if you go to my site, thedmlair.com, you can download free D&D adventures, totally free. You just download them and whatnot. I also have over on DriveThruRPG, there are adventures that I publish. A couple of these are totally free as well. They're like pay what you want, so basically free, unless you decide to throw me a couple bucks or something. And a couple of these others are quite inexpensive. One is $1, the other is $2. So feel free to check those things out. If you're looking for adventures to run on your channel, or on your channels, you all got channels now. If you're looking for adventures to run for your games and you don't want to take the time to like do a homebrew, or you don't want to spend like $30 to buy a module, then these are either free or inexpensive options for you. It's also a way for you to just kind of support the channel if you like the content, if you like the videos. Going out and grabbing these throws me a couple bucks and stuff, and everything helps. So there you go. There's my plug for y'all. And now we're going to move on to Gnolls. All right. I'm getting low on coffee. I need coffee. Awesome. Gnolls. Let's pick up some Gnolls. What challenge rating are we going to turn the Gnolls into? That is our first question. First of all, I'm going to go look at a Gnoll. Find ourselves a Gnoll. And a normal Gnoll is a CR 1/2. So we're not going crazy. We got to keep this reasonable. I don't want to go like a CR 20 Gnoll. That's like the Gnoll god. I forget his name. The demon or whatever that is the deity of the Gnolls. That's like what his CR would be, like a 20 or something. So I want to keep this something a little bit reasonable. I do want it to be higher. I do want it to be super cool, because if we have normal Gnolls that are about 1/2, we have a Pack Lord that's a 2. We have this Gnoll Fang of, that's the god's name, Yenagu. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'm going to go with Yenagu. I'm sure I'll get some corrections on that. I pronounce things wrong all the time, in case you all haven't noticed. So this Gnoll will have, he's a CR of 4. So what kind of CR do we want? A 42? Eli Everett. All right, I think I got it. Says 42. I think that's a little high, man. I don't have the skills for that sort of thing. I'm seeing lots of 5s. I see lots of 5s. I see a 2, a 4. Okay, 5. We're doing a 5. So our goal for the Gnoll is a CR 5. All right, now hopefully this isn't going to take us too super long. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a screenshot of the Gnoll so that I can quickly reference this. Bam! Actually, you know what we could do with this? What we could actually do with this is we could throw this. So let me get some zoomy action on here. Stand by, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go to the desktop. Get some zoomy action. We're going to create a Gnoll. And I'm just going to paste that right there for us to have as a sort of reference. And then we are going to, our goal is to make this a CR5. That's our goal. I'm writing this stuff down because I will forget, and then I'll be like, yo, what did we decide on? So we're going for a CR5. So let's go over to our, what did we call this thing? Our D&D Fantasy Accounting Ledger. Our goal is a CR5. Now let's just take a look at the normal Gnoll. Let's get a feeling for the Gnoll. Is a Gnoll more of, because there are different types of creatures. You might have something that's a little bit, my cat is like, what are you doing down here? He's like clawing my stand. He's going to tip it over. We have like tanks that might have lots of armor class and hit points, but don't do quite as much damage. You might have like a glass cannon, which doesn't have very many hit points or armor class, but does lots of damage. So I'm looking at the Gnoll. I want to get a feel for kind of roughly what its capabilities are. And it doesn't do, so it does a bite attack, which is like 4 damage. It has a spear attack, which isn't a whole lot. The hit points aren't super, super high. It's a CR 1/2, 15 hit points. A Gnoll seems pretty balanced. It seems pretty balanced. So this will actually make for, I think it's pretty balanced. I don't think that it's really high one way or another. So this will actually make for a pretty good example. I think if we assume that the defensive challenge rating we're aiming for is a 5, and then the offensive challenge rating we're aiming for is a 5, then that makes our average a 5. Math. And that'll make our example pretty easy, actually. So let's just do that for kicks. Oh, do you think Wiggles says that it might have a high AC for a CR 1/2? Okay. All right, let's make the defensive a 6 and the offensive a 4. How's that? Then it's a little more defensive than normal, but its offense is a little bit less. How's that? How's that, Wiggles? Do you approve? I think I'm out of coffee. Wiggles is now in charge, guys. What Wiggles says goes for the next 5 seconds. So let's see how fast Wiggles can get some crazy stuff into the chat. I have now transitioned to water because I'm out of coffee. Oh, River Maury says he got some tea over there. Awesome. That's great. If you could send that to me, that'd be awesome. I'd appreciate that. All right, Wiggles gives us the stamp of approval, so we're going to go with that. Thank you, Wiggles. Appreciate that. All right, so if we're going for a defensive CR of 6, then we're basically going to say, look at that. The armor class, oh my gosh. The armor class is 15. So that means that a CR 1/2, you guys check this out. If we're looking at this table, the Gnoll is a CR 1/2, which normally has a 13, and it has a 16. So that means that Gnolls actually have pretty high, like out of the book, they have pretty high armor class for such a low-level creature. Just looking at these numbers here. So that's interesting. We actually let's make this a little higher then. Let's say that the defensive CR is like a 7, and we might make this a 3. Let's make it an 8. No, let's make it a 7. There we go. Fantasy Ledger. Our Fantasy Ledger. Make that a little bigger for you. So let's go for a defensive CR of a 7 then. And let's see how that gets us. It's the same. It doesn't matter at all. It's still a 15. But look how many hit points it has. Oh my gosh. That is a big, massive bunch of hit points. That's crazy. I don't like that. I want it to have fewer hit points. What we're gonna do? Let's give it 100. Let's give it 105 hit point, 110 hit points. Let's give it 110 hit points. And this is what I'm getting at. If the hit points are 110, then and we want our average CR should be like a 7. And I'm at 110. So if I give it an armor class of, let me see. If I give it an armor class of 15, then I'm going to be up to a CR 5. If I give it an armor class of, no, hold on a second. Yeah, if I give it no, that'll just go up by 1. So, so you see how this is confusing? All right. If I give it, its armor class is normally a 13. See, now we gotta write this all out. So its armor class for a CR is normally a 13. If its armor class is a 15, that makes the CR go up to, what was it? It gets noodly, you guys. I'm telling you, it gets noodly. That's a CR 3. So at a CR 3. So at a CR 3, our armor class is 13, right? So if my armor class goes up to a 15, it then becomes a CR 4. If my armor class goes up to a 17, it becomes a CR 5. And we got to go for a 7? I think that's crazy. Let's not do that. That's probably a little too much. Instead, let's give it 120 hit points and give it an armor class of 17. I think that should work. So let's give it 120 hit points and an armor class of 17. That should work, I think. Because the way this works is if I have 120 hit points, that makes it a CR of 4 right there. And if I have 17 hit points, that's going to increase my CR up a little bit. Wow. I don't know. That seems like it's not going to work too well. Let's roll with that, though. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a comparison. Instead of getting too lost in the numbers, we're going to do a side-by-side comparison with another CR5. So, Luke for reals needs more coffee. I might. If you guys can find me a CR5 monster, find me a CR5 monster out of the Dungeon Master Guide and throw me the name down in the chat. What we're going to do is we're going to do kind of a comparison to kind of see what that kind of looks like. Or a CR7 monster, something like that. Yeah, rolling a Gnoll. We are rolling a Gnoll, and we're getting lost in the math because this is more complicated than we thought it would be. This is why people don't create custom monsters, or when they do, they're like way too powerful or something. All right, I'm also under pressure because you all are looking at me. There we go. Let's do that. Now the offensive challenge rating that we were going for was a 3. This is actually going to be easier, you guys, if instead of going way off like that, what we do is we do like a 6 and then a 4. If we don't have that split between the defensive and the offensive be quite so big, then I think it's going to be easier for us to do this. So an Umber Hulk. Okay, let's look at an Umber Hulk. I want to get an idea for this. We're going to do some comparisons. Let's find the Umber Hulk. Umber Hulk. All right, so if we're looking at the Umber Hulk, it's a CR5, which is kind of what we're looking for. And it has an armor class of 18 and 93 hit points. And it has some claw attacks that does some damage. It has like a multi-attack claw attacks. So, all right. I kind of like that. Let's go with that. What we're kind of doing now, you guys, because the math was confusing me and I was having a little breakdown there, we have now gone to the second tactic that a Dungeon Master can use when he's trying to create a custom monster, and that is comparing to another stat block that is at the challenge rating that you're looking for. So that is another thing you can do, and I kind of fell into it because the math was confusing me. So there you go. So we're looking at an Umber Hulk. And so I think that this will work. Let's go over to, let's make our hit points to be 90. And the armor class is a 17, which is about what an Umber Hulk is, if we're just kind of comparing it here. And then let's find out we could just copy the damage. We could literally copy the damage from this, which we might do. We might actually just do this. Let's just do that. Let's just copy our damage. We just copy our damage. See, now I'm like sweating. You guys are putting me under pressure and stress. We're going to copy our damage from our Umber Hulk. And bam. Now it can't just... Now this, of course, let's see. It'll have a multi-attack. It has to have a multi-attack because we're increasing the challenge rating of the creature. But it's obviously, it doesn't have the same things. It's not going to have like claw attacks and stuff like that. So we'll still say that it has 3 attacks. So we'll say the Gnoll makes 3 attacks. It'll be 2 with its, what does it have, a spear? 2 with its spear and 1 with its bite. Because a Gnoll normally has a bite attack. All right. And then the spear right there. And instead of mandibles, we're just going to call it bite. We're going to call it bite. And now what we need to do, because we were looking at how much damage. So let's look at the damage output of this Umber Hulk. Basically, this Umber Hulk, I can go back to this sheet right here. This Umber Hulk has a damage output of, it's going to do 2 of these, so it's going to be 18. And then it's going to have the bite attack, The bite attack does 14. So what is that? 18 plus 14? Is that 32? I think that's 32. That seems about right. 32. If we go back to our little table over here, which was not serving us well a moment ago, so hopefully this will work a little better for us. But a 32 damage per round puts us at a CR 4. All right? And what were we kind of aiming for? But it has a plus 8 to attack. Did you guys notice that? The Umber Hulk, instead of a plus 4 to attack or a plus 5, it has a plus 8. So, but it's going to have a 32 damage per round. I think this is fine. We could just use this. We could literally just use this right here. And we could be done with our Gnoll. The only difference is, the only thing that you would consider is that if we look at the Umber Hulk, it has this confusing gaze, right? And the confusing gaze is going to change its challenge rating a little bit. It's probably going to increase its challenge rating a little bit because it's giving it a special ability, perhaps. Now, the other thing to balance with that, though, is that our Gnoll has this rampage feature, which is going to change things a little bit. But we could, for all intents and purposes, we could just call it good. We have mostly modeled this after the Umber Hulk. We've copied its hit points and armor class. We've copied its attacks, basically, and we have repurposed them. So the bite would actually be a piercing damage for the bite. And that's it. That's how that could be. We've repurposed it. We made the Gnoll a CR5 just by copying it away. Ooh, Shield Master feat. Oh, does a Gnoll have a shield? Oh, that's a good idea. We could give it a special ability. I like that idea. Let's give it a special ability. Good call. Oh, now see, you guys, you got some good ideas down here. It must succeed on a strength saving throw or be knocked prone. Oh, I like that. I like that idea. So does it have a shield? It does have a shield. Ooh, very nice. All right, we're going to give it a special ability. Special ability. It is going to be Shield Bash. I almost feel like what it should be able to do is, instead of making a spear attack, it could instead make a Shield Bash. So it might make, as part of its multi-attack, it might make a Shield Bash, then a spear attack, then a bite attack. Which would actually be pretty cool, because if it knocks somebody prone with its Shield Bash, then it would have advantage on its spear attack and its bite attack. So I like that idea. You guys got some great ideas there. All right. Woo, I'm over here failing, sweating my butt off because the math is confusing me. But you guys are saving the day with some good ideas. All right, so Shield Bash. The Gnoll can make a Shield Bash instead of any spear attack. And then we got to make some... We're just going to copy this right here. We're going to copy that little bit of information there. Throw that down. Let's do some zoomy. Make sure everybody can see what we're doing here. It is a melee weapon attack. I think that if you do a Shield Bash, is it going to do damage? I think it should do a little bit of damage and also possibly knock you prone. So we could literally just keep the exact same stats from the spear. We could just keep that, or we could change it, make it a little bit lower. I think actually we might just keep it the same and add there be a saving throw to be knocked prone, and that's going to make up for that Umber Hulk's like confusing gaze ability that it had. So that'll kind of help balance that out a little bit. By giving the Gnoll a special little feature, it balances that out, which will help us to hit that CR5 a little bit better. So let's do that. Let's just leave that the same. And again, leaving this information the same is going to make running this Gnoll at the table a little bit easier, because you're using the same stats for a Shield Bash as you would use for a spear. And so I always like making things simpler for me when I'm running the game at the table. So there you go. Now what's the DC? What is the saving throw? What should it be? Let's go to our table again. Our wonderful table. And for a CR5, a saving throw is a 15. So let's just use a 15, which is exactly what the dude in the chat, Jason S., had suggested. Awesome. So, where'd my thingy go? Here we go. A creature hit by the shield bash must make a DC 15 strength saving throw, being knocked prone. What did it say? How do they normally word this? Being knocked prone on a failure. On a failure. Oh yeah, that's how we say it. Maybe being knocked prone on a failed save. There we go. I like it. And we should actually say the Gnoll can make a shield bash instead of a spear attack. There we go. Not any spear attack, because you don't want him to be like bash, bash. It really should be more like shield bash, spear attack, bite. There we go. Actually, you know what we should do? We should build that into its multi-attack. Let's make that part of its spear multi-attack. 1 shield bash, 1 spear attack, and 1 bite attack. There we go. That's even better. And then that won't even be a special ability. That's just one of its normal like actions. That's just a normal action that it has. There we go. Awesome. Now you have something a little more interesting as well. Gnolls that are knocking you prone and then attacking you, that could get nasty. I like it. Cool. I think we're done with the Gnoll. That didn't take us too long. That was like a half hour. All right, cool. It's not too bad. Copy from Gladiator. Oh, what does Gladiator say? Well, let's find Gladiator. Gladiator, or did we just do it? Did we already just do it? Oh yeah, we did. We did do a shield bash. All right, good call. Yeah, we just copied it from Gladiator. Nice. And you see what we're doing? Oh, there's a parry too. We're not gonna worry about that. But this is another thing when you're creating monsters. You know, you're just copying from other monsters. Something cool over here, you just copy it in, and boom, you're done. So I like that. Awesome. All right, I think we should move on to another monster. I think something different. What if we tried out a custom monster? Something totally custom. That will really stretch our ability to apply the rules, which are, as I think we are learning that the rules are not as easy to apply as we would probably hope that they were. Goblin Paladin Warlord. Nice. Let's get some ideas for a custom monster. I feel like we're ready to go on and try something like a custom monster. We applied the very first things. We applied the undead or the zombie trait to a cat, a lion basically, and then we just tweaked a Gnoll a little bit, kind of copying basically from an Umber Hulk because I got confused. And now maybe we can try something that's custom and totally throw me for a loop and get me all flustered. All right. An ooze dragon. Oh, man. And part of creating the custom monster, too, is that we are going to have to... what do you want to do it? What do you want to call it? We'll pick a CR for it as well. We need to pick a CR for it. So, yeah, that'll be fun. All right. It is that time in the stream for another quick little plug, ladies and gentlemen. I want to just give a shout out to one of the friends of the channel. This is Dungeon Fog. Y'all, if you are looking for an online RPG map making tool, then Dungeon Fog might be for you. You can try it out for free. There's a free... It's not even a free trial. It's just permanently. You can just use it for free. If you want access to all of the features, then I think it's about $50 a year. That's not too bad. It has lots of cool capabilities, and you can use the promo code the DM Lair to get 10% off a yearly sub. So there you go. That is our quick little plug for Dungeon Fog. They are an ally of the channel, so we want to give them some love. I actually use Dungeon Fog for the adventures that I create over on DriveThruRPG now, And so I definitely like them. It makes map making so much easier, and they're constantly coming out with new features as well. I'm pretty sure that I read something that they have Fog of War now, so that if you're running on like Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, I think that they support that now. Don't quote me on that. I've never run on Roll20 or Fantasy Grounds, but anyway. All right, we have a bunch of monsters. Oh my gosh. Okay, Jay says, exactly, I told you it was confusing. I would love to see you give class levels to something. Oh, I have never given class levels to a monster in 5th edition. I think I did that back in 3.5 a little bit, but even that was, I don't recall that being super easy. I think we're not going to delve into that tonight. If I had chance to actually figure out a method for doing that, then oh, Tashio says it's still in beta, but only via their interface. Okay, cool. Good to know. If it's in beta, though, it means they're working on it. So eventually, someday, their Fog of War should be available. That's cool. What about a holiday monster? Half dragon, half shambling mound, anti-claws, a human pickle? A human pickle. Humanoid pickle. What is going on here? Who wants a human pickle? So Eli Everett clearly wants a human pickle. Does anybody else want a human pickle? I don't know. I mean, you might find that useful for your pickle game that you're running. I don't know if a humanoid pickle is going to be helpful for everybody else. Although that would be pretty fun to make a human pickle. All right, Loch Ness monster, a Lich. A Lich already exists. An ooze dragon, a demon flesh Nalam, a legendary dragon, a prismatic dragon. I've actually already made a prismatic dragon. I created a prismatic dragon for my Manus Invictus group, and they fought against that. I have the stat block for that and everything. Yeah, that was a custom monster I made. That was really cool. It could breathe like all the different colors of breath weapons. It was pretty cool. I think it could. I'm pretty sure it could. It was not Tiamat, though. They fought Tiamat at the end of their campaign. That was like the culmination of their campaign. Dun, dun, dun. Oh, somebody said something about our shield bash. Yeah, it is not slashing damage. That's right. It would be bludgeoning damage. Bludgeoning damage for a shield bash. Unless you had spikes on it or something, but we didn't really discuss that. So let's just keep it at bludgeoning damage. I changed that. Joel says a sentient ambulatory tree. Kind of like an awakened tree or something. A pickle Rick. All right, let's pick something. A death bat. I'm gonna roll a d20, and then we are gonna find what we're making. I rolled a 20. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I got it. Jason S. A Goblin Demon Warlord. That's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. A Goblin Demon Warlord. I don't know what that's going to look like. All right, how are we going to do this? We're doing a Goblin Demon Warlord. I need ideas for this monster. We are creating a custom monster. I have no idea where to go with this. I'm going to rely upon you guys. Let's get our monster stat block here. And the monster's name is Goblin Demon Warlord. I mean, we just said demon, so I guess the type is demon. If it's a demon, alignment of a demon is usually chaotic evil. There we go with that. Oh, we're gonna do the giveaway pretty soon too, guys. So I will get you some information on the giveaway. In probably when we finish the Goblin Demon Warlord, I will give you the information you need to enter into the giveaway. And in case you're just joining us, we're going to be giving away a shirt tonight. You're going to get a discount code so that you can go over to Gorilla Tees, which is the sponsor for this live stream, and you're going to be able to get a winner can get a shirt from them. I get most of my shirts, like this one, come from Gorilla Tees. They're really cool. And you also have a chance to win some tactical tokens from my buddy Dave over at tacticaltokens.com. So that is the giveaway stuff, and we will get to that in just a moment. So what are we doing with this Goblin Demon Warlord? Goblin Demon Warlord. Demigorgon Servant. Couldn't you just change the race of a blackguard to Goblin? Ooh, you probably could. You probably could. Let's look at that. That would make our lives easier. Like literally, instead of creating something totally from scratch, if we can look at an existing monster stat block and just kind of like, I got distracted by the chat. If we just change the stat block to fit kind of what we're doing here, that is going to make our lives super easy. In fact, you guys, I very rarely create custom monsters because it just takes a lot of time, and the math sometimes falls apart, and you end up with something that is way more powerful than it should be, I think. Which was where we were going with that Gnoll. When we first started doing that Gnoll, it was looking to be way more powerful than an Umber Hulk at CR5. So I often just copy things, and it makes things much easier. But we're going to find a blackguard. Where is the blackguard? Is that in... Something tells me that is... Let's just go to Google. Google is our friend. Blackguard. 5e. What book is that in? I'm trying to find out what book that's in, guys. I do not know what book the Blackguard is in. I don't think that's the Monster Manual, is it? I think that's something from the Dungeon Master Guide, isn't it? Where you apply that class or something? Or a Death Knight. Oh, that's an idea too. I think a Blackguard it's Mordenkainen's. Okay, let's take a look at Mordenkainen's. Oh, actually, you know what I should do? I should just pull up. I could just open Mordenkainen's. Volo's Guide to Monsters? Blackguard is from Volo's. All right, we're gonna open up Volo's. Let's take a look at Volo's. Blackguard. Volo's Guide. Let's see here. I gotta find this. Volo's Guide to Monsters. Volo's Guide to Monsters. And then we're just going to look for Blackguard. Blackguard. There it is. There is the Blackguard. So we could literally just use this and make it a goblin and call it a Goblin Demon Warlord. However, that would be the easy way. That would be the super easy way, and we would be done. However, we did say we were going to create a custom monster. So I don't want to just take this and repurpose it for this case, because we're not really creating a custom monster at that point. So let's legitimately actually create a custom monster. That's what we're going to do here. So let's get some ideas for this Goblin Demon Warlord. We need to know, first of all, roughly what challenge rating we're going to be going for. What challenge rating do we want a Goblin Demon Warlord to be at? Whose idea was this for? Somebody had this idea. I forget who I chose this from. But whoever I chose this from, I think you should be able to pick what challenge rating we make this at, because it was your idea. I forget whose idea it was. Whose idea was it? Roll a d20 for the CR. That's a good idea. I could just roll a d20. I want to put the probability curve a little higher. I don't want the probability to just be like equal chance for a 1 to a 20. I'd rather it be like stilted toward a higher number. So let's actually I'm going to roll 4d6. No, and drop the lowest. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to roll 4d6 and drop the lowest to determine the challenge rating. All right, I got a 6, a 2, and a 3. So that's 8, 9, 10, 11. So we are going for a CR11. A CR11. Dude, rolls ones. Yeah, I rolled ones. It's like a CR3. A CR11's not that bad for this. So let's go back over to this bad boy. And what I'm looking for a CR11 is the experience points, which is 7,200. So I'm going to come back over here and 7,200. So I'm looking at languages. So I think it makes sense that a Goblin Demon Overlord is going to speak Goblin. And he's probably also going to speak Abyssal. That is the normal language for demons, I believe. Pretty sure. And okay, so size. How big would a Goblin Demon Warlord be? Here's the question. Is it small because it's a goblin? Or is it a little bit bigger because it's a big goblin? Or can it change sizes? Maybe it can shape change. I don't know. Infernal. I think Infernal is the language of devils, I believe. We're making a zombie cat. We are in the process of making a zombie cat. I almost want it to be medium, you guys. Primordial could flavor it more. Yeah. I think it's going to be maybe a medium because that's like a size bigger than a normal goblin. All right. So we have a medium. It's chaotic evil. We got some languages decided. All of these things right here, I'm gonna highlight these in yellow. That tells us that we haven't done it yet. And then I know to come back and do this. Special abilities. What kind of special abilities? We got to decide some of these attacks, all that kind of good stuff. If we're doing a CR11, we're going to make our lives easy. We're going to make our lives really easy so that we don't get bogged down in math again and then totally lose it. If it is a CR11, then we are literally going to just go right across the column here and we're going to make our lives easy. A CR11 has about 125 hit points. We're going to say 230 and an armor class of 17. My cats are running all over the place. So we're going to give it 230 hit points and an armor class of 17. If its armor class is 17, what is it wearing? Not full plate. What if it has on what has an armor class of 15, like chainmail plus a shield or something? What kind of armor do we want it to have in? Armor, brainstorm. What kind of armor is it going to have? To get an armor class of 17, what is it wearing? It is a Goblin Demon Warlord. So I'm imagining something of like a heavier armor. I'm imagining spikes sticking out of it. I'm imagining like the pauldrons are maybe formed in the shape of skulls, right? Maybe the helmet is like a big, huge demonic helmet type thing. You know, maybe it's like red or something crazy. And then like the visor that comes down is like in the shape of some demonic face or something. I don't know. Splint is perfect. I'm gonna get my player handbook real quick. I'm not gonna pull it up on screen because it's gonna take me forever to like find it on screen for you all. But I have little post-it notes in here that help me find things really fast. Where is Splint? Splint is armor class 17, but do we want to have no shield, give it a huge weapon? Okay, that's cool. Let's do that. Let's do Splint armor, and we're just going to give this thing a huge weapon. So armor class is 17. It's Splint. Awesome. And that is done. Awesome. We've figured out the hit points. I'm not going to goof around with the hit dice. I don't really care right now. We don't use them a whole lot. The speed. How fast is it? How fast is a goblin normally? We should actually look at the goblin. Let's go over here and find a goblin. Goblin. Next. Come on, man. It's like everywhere. Actually, I have a faster way to do this. I actually have goblins here. I told you my cats are running all. My cats do not respect the fact that I am doing a live stream right now. They have no respect. Goblins are normally 30 feet. Oh, they have this nimble escape. We're going to want to make sure we take the nimble escape. Probably want to, I'm guessing if it's a goblin, we're going to get that same special ability. So I'm going to copy that over for us before I forget. Should it be faster than 30 feet, or does it make sense to have the same? Can it fly? It's a demon, you guys. Does it have like demonic wings? Can we give it a fly speed? If you're going against a goblin demon warlord, I mean, wouldn't that be cool if it can fly and it has like wings and crap? I think I like that idea. Let's give it a fly speed because it has wings. What would its fly speed be? If it's heavy armor, maybe it's slower and it's 25 to 30. Yeah, give it wings. We're giving it wings. Wings of Orcus. Wings of Orcus. The goblin has a fly speed of 30. I like it. It could just be 30. Demon on wings. Let's do 30 feet. Sometimes, here's the thing. Sometimes the fly speed is higher than the walk speed, but this thing is in pretty heavy armor, and it's going to have a big sword. And so that might slow it down a little bit. So I'm okay with its fly speed being the same as its like walking speed. So I like that. I like that idea. Some of you guys want it to go a lot faster. Oh, here we go. Oh, here Pantheron has a good idea. He says roll a 1d10 and multiply it by 10 for the flight speed. Let's see what happens when we do that. that may or may not work. It may or may not work. Don't go with a sword. Yeah, we're not doing a sword. This dude is going to have something nasty like a flail or something just, a flail in the shape of a skull, with like spikes coming out of the eyes, the mouth, the ears. All of the orifices of the skull has spikes coming out of it. That's the head of the flail. So maybe it has a 3-headed flail, and that's what each of the heads looks like. So we definitely want to do something cool and like interesting for this thing. I rolled a 7. So it has a 70 fly speed? That's crazy. I'll compromise. I'll give you a 50. There we go. We have a 50 fly speed. Nice. We got to write some of this description down. Holy crap. Stand by. Because part of this creature is the description. Description. And that didn't work. Okay, the Goblin Demon Warlord wields a two-handed flail with 3 heads. Each head is formed in the shape of a humanoid skull with spikes coming out of every orifice. Did I spell that right? I did not spell orifice right. There we go. Nice. And what should we say? It wears heavy splint armor with pauldrons formed into skulls with spikes coming out of the eyes. There we go. And a massive helm in the form of a snarling demon. There we go. There's some basic description. Pauldrons. I guess I don't know how to spell pauldrons. And spell check is not helping with pauldrons. So there we go. Oh, the mobile feat. What does the mobile? We should give it a fly. We could give it a flyby attack. If we give it flyby, which I think makes sense, then it can swoop down, it can attack, and then fly back up, and people don't get attacks of opportunity on it. So I think we might do flyby. Yes, I agree. Raphael says the Flind has an interesting flail. Something like that would be nice. I agree. So a Flind, it basically makes 3 attacks, and each of the attacks deals like a different special effect based on the 3 heads of the flail. I like that idea. We're doing that. Where were we though? We're going to get to that in a second. Flyby attack. We need to give this thing flyby. Flyby attack. When flying, I don't even know what the wording is for flyby attack. We could probably actually, a lot of times what I'll do is when I'm looking for the wording of stuff like this, I will just copy paste it. Whoops. Ah, crap. Cancel. I spelled that wrong. I still spelled that wrong. Flyby. There we go. And then I'm going to copy. Come on, baby. Come on, you can do this. And we'll copy that down. Dun 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 dun. And we'll say the Goblin doesn't provoke an opportunity attack when it flies out of an enemy's reach. There we go. That is the precise wording for flyby attack. I like it. Dun dun dun. Flails are a bit difficult to control, so be pretty impractical if you have wings you need to worry about. Yeah, well, he's had lots of training in how to use this flail while he's flying. Well, if he's swooping down, he has it like below him. He's like, maybe he's just like swinging it in big swaths like this so that it doesn't like hit his wings and stuff. So, oh, AJ Silver, do we need to mitigate the players just looting the Goblin's armor after killing it and wearing it themselves for a massive AC buff? No, I don't think so. It's just splint armor. That's all it is. It is normal splint armor. There is nothing special about it. All we've added to this armor is a cool description of what it looks like. But for all intents and purposes, mechanically, it functions identically to splint armor out of the Dungeon Master, out of the player handbook. So, I agree. I think demons do return to the abyss when slain, Matt. We could say, though, that the armor gets left behind. I would be perfectly fine with that. I think that having them defeat this creature and then being part of the loot is getting this really cool-looking armor that they could wear. I think that's awesome. I don't have any problem with that. The one thing I would say, though, is since we're planning on giving it a special flail with abilities, we'll probably want to say, unless you want to give them a special magic item, which is possible, you might say that the demon's presence and his own innate magical powers are what gives the flail its magical powers. And that when the demon is slain, the flail becomes a normal flail with 3 heads, which is still pretty cool looking, but won't give them all these special magical abilities and stuff. So, all right. Now what we're doing, we did hit points. What we need to do now is let's work on the stat blocks for it right here. It's strength, it's dexterity, constitution, intelligence. Let's work on those. How smart should this be? Well, how smart are normal goblins? Let's see. Where is our normal goblin? Goblin, goblin, goblin. Where's my goblin? I can't find it. It's literally, there it is. I'm like literally right there. I can't see it. Goblins are pretty smart, you guys. They have a dexterity of 14. So this is a demon goblin. This guy has been like, somehow he's better. He's a cut above the rest. We could make him a little smarter than normal goblins if we want. Warlords are smart. Yeah. Warlords are smart, and they have good knowledge of tactics and strategy and stuff. So let's make it a 16. Let's go with 16. I'm starting to get hungry too. Like my stomach is starting to be like, Luke, you need to put some stuff in here. Which probably means that we are, yeah, it's like 10 o'clock too. We got to get the giveaway going. Let's get this monster going. Strength. What about strength? Oh, a goblin. So a goblin is not super strong, but this is a demon. This is a demon goblin. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about the strength? What about the strength? Did I do the intelligence? Did I do the intelligence or the dexterity? I made the dexterity 16, which I actually, that's probably not a horrible idea. But I want the intelligence. I was looking at the wrong thing. Let's make the intelligence a 14. I was looking at the wrong stat block. The dexterity is a 14. So then maybe the dexterity of a demon will be a little bit higher. I feel like strength would be higher for a demon. 22 strength? What's the CR on this guy? We're going for a CR of 11. 22 might be a little high. I wouldn't mind Luke use the force. Ugh, there you go. There's my force choke for you, buddy. That's like what Darth Vader would do. Let's make the strength kind of high because this is a CR 11. Let's do an 18 for strength. So it's a +4, I think. Is 18 a +4? Yeah, 18's a +4. Constitution. What's a normal goblin's constitution? It's about normal. So let's make the constitution. We're not doing a 42 strength. I'm going to roll a 4d6 and drop the lowest for the constitution. Oh, I have a 6, a 6, and a 5. So that is a 17 for our constitution. So that's going to be a plus, what is that, +3? Wisdom. How wise are goblins? Not very wise. But this is a demon. This is a demon, so I could just roll for it again. What's the wisdom? It does not have 100 charisma. It does not have 100 charisma. What do you guys think about the charisma? What should the charisma be? I'm rolling for the wisdom. Oh my gosh. I rolled a 17 for the wisdom again. I think that's too high. I don't think it should be that high. I'm going to give it a wisdom of 12. You can't have every single stat block be like crazy high. That's not realistic. Even for something like really cool like a goblin demon overlord. So I'm just going to give the wisdom of a 12. What the charisma? Charisma's 8. There we go. We got the charisma. The charisma's 8. Boom, we're done. Not everything can be super high. That would make it way too powerful. There's got to be like some reason, some limits here, right? 3d6 and drop the lowest. Yeah, we could do that too. We got this rocking though. We're gonna stick with this. If we keep revising it, then we will never get done with this monster. So we gotta call it quits someday. All right, saving throws. What saving throws would a goblin demon warlord be proficient in? We're gonna pick two of them. What do you guys think? What saving throws would it be proficient in? It looks like out of the box, it doesn't have any proficiencies. So we're just going to pick some things. It does look like it has stealth as a skill. So we're going to make sure we have stealth for it. Dexterity and con is a possibility. I think that makes sense. Goblins have natural dexterity, and it's a demon, so that it's hardy makes sense to me. Dexterity and strength. I don't know that the argument for strength is there because goblins aren't naturally strong. I see a lot of constitution and dexterity. I'm going to go with constitution and dexterity for it. So I got dexterity, and then let's go with constitution. Now what we're going to do is for a CR 11, we're going to look... Oh, quit grouching down there. I'm in a live stream. My cat wants me to pet him. The proficiency bonus is a 4 for a CR 11. No, I told you no. So the dexterity saving throw is going to be a 7, and it's also going to be a 7 for our constitution saving throw. Cool. That's that. All right, what skills does it have? I saw some people brainstorming skills. Give us some cleric spells. We will give it some special abilities. And though Stratomatic says, Luke, pet the cat. Oh my gosh, where'd he go? Squeaky. Oh my goodness. Oh. All right, guys, meet Squeaky. I'm gonna put you on the big screen, Squeaky. Here's the big screen. This is Squeaky. This is the cat. This is the cat that was. He's shy. He doesn't want to be on the live stream. That was the one that was killing Squirty Pie earlier. So, just so you know, Squeaky was the one trying to make a cat zombie for us all. So there you go. I saw some people saying acrobatics. And we definitely want it to be proficient in stealth. I don't think sleight of hand is needed. We are not going to give it a bonus to initiative. Athletics does not make sense to me. Perception doesn't make sense to me for this creature. One more thing that it can be skilled in, guys. One more skill that it has. One more skill. Yeah. Hi, Squeaky. You're on the live stream. Hail, Squeaky. Hail, Squeaky. Hail Torm is a thing for my Sword Coast Guard group. There was this whole thing where that's a long story. I should probably tell that story in a video sometime. Adorable. Oh, the Goblin Demon Warlord could have the adorable skill. Intimidation, survival, something that's useful in combat. I see lots of intimidations. We could give it intimidation. Here's the thing, guys. If we give it proficiency in intimidation, it won't actually work in gameplay. Like, if I roll an intimidation check against my players, they have agency. They are welcome to do whatever they want. I'm not going to, somehow force them to, role play their character based on losing a check versus my intimidation. That's not something I would typically do, because I feel like that is something that's taking away their agency of role playing their character. And so I think things like intimidation they're not as useful for me if I'm running this creature against my players, my characters. You know what I'm saying? So that we could do it, but I find it to be kind of pointless in all honesty. So I wouldn't usually do that. I see people saying athletics. I've seen several athletics, so we're going to do athletics. It does have a high strength. It does have a high strength. So I think there's a case to be made for that. So athletics is going to be a +8 because we're taking the proficiency bonus of 4 and then we're adding it to the modifier of the relevant ability score. Acrobatics would be 7. Stealth would be also 7. There we go. And those are things that, there we go. What about damage? So we are on to damage resistances or damage immunities. You're right. Intimidation because it can get the troops to do what they want. We'll throw it in just for kicks and giggles. But this isn't something that I would recommend trying to use against your players, because then you'd be stealing agency, and I avoid that at all costs. It would actually have only a +3 because its charisma is a -1 and its proficiency bonus is a 4. So there you go. It's got some intimidation. Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I see at least a couple people saying that it will have the typical demon immunities. So I'm gonna look this up. I think I know what demons are typically immune to, but if I get it wrong, I'll never live it down. So I'm going to reference a demon such as a Merilith. Let's look at a Merilith, which is a CR16. Poison. Okay, so it's resistant to cold, fire. Oh, wow. Look at that. That's a lot of stuff. That is a lot of stuff, guys. Dun, 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 dun. Where is this thing? Damage resistances. Cold, fire, lightning, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from non-magical weapons. All right. Now this is actually going to change the challenge rating of this creature, is what it's going to do. So let's go over to our rules and see if we can figure this out. Because if we do some scrolly action, and where is this? Wiki, knock it off. He's like trying to knock things over. All right, damage resistance. Oh wait, no. I'm going too far. There's a different table. I'm looking for a table. There's a table that talks about this. Here we go. Effective hit points based on resistances and immunities. So we are doing a CR11, which falls in this range right here. And the hit point multiplier for resistances is a 1.25. So that means that if our hit points is 230 and we're multiplying it by 1.25, what I actually want to do, we're going to go into a spreadsheet for this. I still want to have that same amount of effective hit points of 230, but I need a number X times 1.25 equals 230. So I'm just doing some basic math here. And I'm going to do 230 divided by 1.25, 185. So we're actually going to lower its hit points down to 185. And that helps us to account for the damage resistances that it has. So I hope you followed along with that. Math. Math is fun. This is why it's easier to copy, existing monsters and reskin them than create your own. But there we go. Now we need to do damage immunities. What kind of damage immunity does a demon typically have? Poison. It looks like it's just poison. All right, let's just do poison and poisoned. And I am not going to adjust the challenge rating at all. I think I have cat hair on my face from picking up Squeaky. Poisoned. There we go. Damage immunities. Bam. I'm not adjusting the CR because poison is so niche. How often are your players actually going to be using poison against a creature? It doesn't happen that often. It just, in my games, it never really happens. And so to adjust the CR based upon something that is unlikely to happen is not reasonable. So I'm going to leave that unadjusted based upon that. All right, the senses, the passive perception. So this is pretty easy. That's pretty much 10 plus my wisdom modifier, which is not very good. Dark vision. What does a demon normally have with dark vision? Well, this might not be a good example. This has true sight. This is a high level demon. A Hezaru is a CR 8 and it has 120 feet. I think I liked 120 feet. 120 feet dark vision seems reasonable to me. So let's go with that. Dark vision, 120 feet. All right, good on that. I don't want to give it true sight. I feel like it's a CR 11. True sight is pretty powerful, and that's something reserved for a higher level, I feel. So I don't want to give it true sight. I nerfed your poison spray. I'm sorry. I'm going to try to pronounce your name. Arcanivore's Manavault. That's pretty good. I'm sorry. I nerfed your poison spray. That's unfortunate. All right. What else we got to do on this guy? We still have to make his flail. We have not made his flail. We have done a bunch of stuff. I don't know. We're going to do some more special abilities. We need to make there be some special ability here. We're going to do his flail. So we definitely got to do some flail stuff right there. Different magical effects for the different heads of the flail. And so we got a few things left to do, and then we're going to be pretty close to being done on creating our Goblin Demon Warlord. This is what I'm going to do right now, guys. We're going to take a quick time out from our Goblin Demon Warlord. We're going to come back to it in a second. I want to give you guys the information for the giveaway so that you can go sign up for the giveaway. And then after I tell you how to sign up for the giveaway, I'm actually going to run to the bathroom real quick because too much coffee. And then that'll give you guys an opportunity to fill out the giveaway and do the giveaway stuff. And then when I get back, we will finish up our Goblin Demon Warlord. And then probably when we're done with the Goblin Demon Warlord, we will announce the winner of the giveaway. So let's jump into the giveaway information for you all. All right, giveaway information. So as part of the giveaway, I'm going to be telling you what you're going to be winning, what you have the opportunity to win. The first thing that you can win is a Gorilla Tee. So basically these dudes are like my sponsor for this live stream. They make tons of D&D shirts. Look at all these cool things. Like the shirt I'm wearing is from Gorilla Tees, and what you'll get as the grand winner will get to choose either a shirt from Gorilla Tees. What you're actually going to get is a discount code that will give you $15 to spend toward a shirt. And all of their shirts are $15 pretty much, guys. These are pretty inexpensive shirts. If you go, I've checked out a few other D&D sites that will sell D&D shirts, and you're almost guaranteed to pay about $20 to $25 for a D&D shirt. These guys have some of the most inexpensive shirts that I've been able to find. That's why I bought all my shirts from them about a year and a half ago because they're really, really cost effective and they hold up really well to like washing. Like my shirts have been washed a lot because I'm not like a slob, and they are not like, the screen printing is still in really good condition. Like, you know how sometimes you wash a shirt a few times and the screen printing starts to peel away and like chip off and stuff? These things are going strong. So these are really good shirts. So you're going to be able to win one of these. If you don't win and you still want some cheap D&D shirts, you can also get 15% off any purchase with them if you use the DM Lair promo code. That information is like over here, over there. Nope, that way. Right there on your screen. So that is one thing that you have the opportunity to win. And the other thing that you have the opportunity to win are tactical tokens. These things right here, I mean, you can see the little pictures of them kind of right there, and they probably have some more pictures here. This is going to be like, hopefully this will give us like, you guys can kind of get the idea here. But we have these really cool tokens. You're going to get 20 of these bad boys here. You basically use these in place of miniatures. They're super high quality. Like I have a bunch of these things. But obviously, I'm giving them away, so I have a bunch of them. And they're really high quality. They're easy to transport. Like miniatures, like when I go to conventions, I usually take a bunch of tactical tokens with me because instead of toting around all of my miniatures at a convention, I can just take a bunch of these mini little tokens and they fit in a small area. They're really high quality. They have really cool like illustrations and stuff. And so, yeah, you can win 20 of these bad boys. And you can also get 10%. If you want to go buy some of these bad boys off the dude's site, then you can get 10% off your purchase with the promo code, the DM Lair. So there you go. So if you don't win, we are giving you a bunch of codes that you can use to to get some percentage off of these things. So now the giveaway, the link to the giveaway is down in the description. If I still have some mods on, perhaps you can throw a link to the giveaway down in the chat as well. And to enter the giveaway, you're going to go and enter the password. There is a secret stream password. It is I like pie. I like pie. That is the passcode for the giveaway. So go to that link down in the description, enter that in, and then there are also a few other things that you can do if you want to get more entries into the giveaway. So feel free to do those bad boys there. And I think that is all you need to do to enter the giveaway. So I'm going to give you guys like about 1 minute or so to enter the giveaway. While you're doing that, I'm going to go use the bathroom real quick because I'm dying here. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to throw up some screen here. So there we go. Have at it. All right, we're back. There we go. I see down there somebody's like, is all one word or something. You can, as long as it says I like pie, then it'll work. Don't worry about it. It's not like automated. I'll actually look at it and confirm it manually. So don't worry about it. Nice. Nice. All right, we all good? We're good. We're gonna rock and roll. We are done entering the giveaway, so we're going to finish up our Goblin Demon Warlord, and then we will announce the winners of the giveaway. So there you go. So, ideally, if the winners are still in the chat, then you can pick out which one you want. Whether you want to, because the grand winner is going to get to choose whether he wants the shirt or whether he wants the tactical tokens. So the grand winner will choose which one he wants, and then the runner-up will get whichever one's left over, because that's the way it works when you're a runner-up. So we will draw that as soon as we finish our Goblin Demon Warlord. So there we go. The DM Vault, what up, dude? How you doing, man? Good to see you, buddy. Does that count? Those are just emojis, dude. What kind of pie? What kind of pie? Oh, man. What do I want? What kind of pie do I want? I love apple pie with the crumbly stuff on top. What do you call that? Dutch apple pie. Yeah, that's really good. I love pumpkin pie. Pumpkin pie is really good. Oh, it's pumpkin pie. Oh, pecan pie. Oh, you guys, I told you I was hungry, and now we're talking about pie. This was not a good idea. This is going to lead us down into, like, one of the flail heads for our Goblin Demon Overlord is going to have pie. It's going to be a big pie-shaped head, and it, like, kills you with blueberries or something. Shepherd pie. Shepherd's pie is good too, dude. I like shepherd pie. That's awesome. I went to this diner once, and they served us shepherd pie, and the slice was, like, so small. I was upset. I'm like, dude, I just paid $10. Actually, my wife was the one that got it. We paid $10, and the slice was, like, just so small. I'm just like, dude, what is this? Give me some pie, man. It's like mashed potatoes and other good stuff in there. You can give me a bigger serving, whatever. I digress. All right, Goblin Demon Overlord, Flailhead. We need to decide what the special effects are for each of the 3 Flailheads. So brainstorm me some stuff down in the chat if you would. We want to know what the Flailheads do. Flail attack. We're going to have 3 of these, and each one is going to have a special effect. And while you're brainstorming, I'm going to go over here and figure out what the attack bonuses and stuff should be. So it's a CR11, so an attack bonus of a +8. And we are going for about that much damage. All right, let's throw this down here. I'm just going to throw that information right there. +8 is good. 1 target. And we want to average, if we're going to have 3 attacks, and we're going to average about 70 points of damage. Let's say that we're going to average roughly 70 points of damage per round. We're going to take 70 and divide it by 3. So each flail attack is going to do about 22 points of damage. Or 23 points of damage. So we want to hit about 22 points of damage for each flail attack. And I'm just crunching the numbers here while you guys brainstorm stuff. Because this doesn't take too much collaboration just to punch some numbers. A flail is like a 3d8. I think a flail is a 3d8, roughly. So a d8 has a 4.5, 3.5. What's the average on a d8? A 5. 4.5, 3.5. I'm gonna have to reference my table because obviously 4.5. All right, so that's the hit dice by size. Yeah, no, it's just a 4. Is it? No, it's a 3.5. It's 3.5, right? Is it 4.5? Yeah, it's 4.5. It's a 4.5. You're right. Okay, there we go. All right. I'm having a math breakdown. All right, so I was over here. It is 4.5. If I do 3 of them, that's a 13.5. What if I do 4 of them? That's good. There we go. So it's gonna be a 4d8 plus 5. Let's do that. 4d8 plus 5 is going to be the damage that each flail does. 4d8 plus 5. And a flail, we were envisioning the flail had like spikes on it. So piercing damage it could be either bludgeoning or piercing, according to your flavor. I think the majority of it would probably come from bludgeoning, from a flail. That's kind of what I'm thinking. So it's going to be, there we go. So it's an average of 22, 48 plus 5 bludgeoning damage. Awesome. Now we need special effects. All right, what are my special effects? Did we have some special effects? A Demon's Reach. The heads of the flail reach out and grab an enemy within 30 feet. That's a special ability. All right. That's like a special ability. Oh, wait, hold on a second. Jason, let's see what that says. Demon's Reach. The heads of the flail reach out and grabs an enemy within 30 feet. On a hit, the fail results in an enemy being pulled within melee range. That's not a special effect, I think, for an actual hit. That's a special ability that the demon might have, and I like that idea. We're going to put that up here as a note to work on that, because that is a good idea. But that's a special ability. That's not an effect that I think the flailhead would cause. Divine Boom. The weapon rings with thunder that's audible within 30 feet of you, and the attack deals an extra 3d6 thunder damage to 3 targets. That's actually not bad. That's really cool. I like that one. Okay, let's do that. Let's do the Divine Boom. That's a good one. We're going to change it a little bit. We're going to change it just a little bit. This is the Divine Boom. So, and then we will say, the weapon rings with thunder that is audible within 30 feet of you. Feet of the creature. We will say all creatures. We'll say all creatures within 30 feet. I'm just kind of making some stuff up here. All creatures within 30 feet must make a DC 14 Constitution saving throw, being deafened for 1 round on a failed save. I'm toning it down just a little bit, dude, because if we deal 3d6 thunder damage to a bunch of targets and stuff, then that kind of changes the damage a little bit more than I want to account for. So we're going to make it so that it just has a chance of deafening creatures for just 1 round, which could be pretty bad if you're a spellcaster, but it's just 1 round, so it's not that bad. And it makes it something interesting as well, not just doing more damage. We always want to look at ways to make things more interesting than necessarily just doing extra damage. I think that's a general overall good practice, because it's going to make your combats and your creatures more interesting and more dynamic than just a war of attrition between hit points and damage. I do want it to do extra damage. So we will also say the attack also... Oh, actually what we should say is we should say 3... Zombie cats! More zombie cats! The attack also deals an extra 3d6 thunder damage to the target. Alright. What's the average of a 3d6? I think an average of d6 is a 3.5, so we're at 7. That's like 11 points of damage. So that's an extra 11 points of thunder damage. Okay, that's not a big deal. What we might need to do here, stand by. What I want to do is I want to copy this, because we're going to use this same base for our future ones. But we might want to lower the base down to like a 3d8 damage. And if we take away 4.5 points of damage, we're going to put that down to about 18 or so. So that sounds about right. 3d8, what do we come up with here? We're going to do 3d8, which is a 14, plus 5 is a 19. So there we go. That's a little bit better. So 19 average damage. All right, there we go. So that is our first flail attack. We have 2 more flail attacks to determine what they do. So we need more ideas for the flail attacks, guys. Ted Berger, what up, dude? Welcome. Hi, man. Hi. Oh, holy crap, you guys. I am sorry. I am on the wrong screen. You guys are all like, Luke, we can't see the screen. All we can see is your big dumb face. Go to the screen. All right, here we go. We're back on the screen. There, this should help a little bit. This right here is what I just made up for the flail attack. So now we need 2 more things for these heads right here. I need ideas for what these heads are gonna do. I see some people throwing out ideas here. I'd like to have some more ideas for what these flail heads are gonna do. A fear effect. Ooh, Cesar has an idea. A fear effect. I like it. Ooh, that's a good idea. That's a good idea because it's a demon, right? So a fear. Flail attack. We're going to do a fear. We'll do a fear effect. Fear. Additionally, the target must make a DC. This is just going to affect one target, so I'm comfortable with having the DC being a little higher for a fear effect. What kind of saving throw is fear? Is that normally like wisdom? What is it, guys? What's the normal saving throw for fear? I think it might be wisdom. Yes, Jay, maths are hard. I totally agree with that. What kind of saving throw for fear? What's the normal one for fear? That is my question. DC 17. We're going to make it a DC 17 because that is the standard DC for a CR 11 creature. What is it? Is it wisdom? Attrition wars suck. Usually, yes. Usually attrition wars just are boring as crap in combat. So that's why we're adding some interesting effects here that'll make things more interesting. Wisdom. Okay, we're going with wisdom. Wisdom saving throw. Throw. Becoming, what is the name of that? What's the name of the condition? Is it afraid? There's a specific name for that condition. It's called afraid, frightened. Becoming frightened of the goblin on a failed save. The target may repeat the saving throw beginning or end of turns at the end. I think it's usually the end of each turn. Because that's how because if it can make it at the beginning, there's a chance that when the goblin attacks, it fails. And then on its next turn, it gets to save again right off the bat, and then it saves. And so we're going to do the end of the turn. That way we're guaranteed that it at least is effective for one turn. There we go. That is my reasoning. I reason thusly. Awesome. We need one more effect for the flail head, ladies and gentlemen. One more effect for the flail head. We need a good idea. Oh. Casbiel says a hold effect. That's interesting. It could paralyze you. So you can make somebody afraid, and then you could also paralyze somebody. You could paralyze somebody. That's an idea. I like that. A charm effect, a frighten effect, an abyssal burn. You know, I'm looking, honestly, I want something that isn't just damage. I want something that's not damage. Something that's going to make this more interesting and dynamic of a fight than just doing more damage. So no damage. Something fun and interesting. That's what I'm looking for. Make it shoot pickles. Eli, are you like eating a jar of pickles? So you wanted us to make a humanoid pickle, I think, at the very beginning of the live stream. I'm imagining Eli, you guys, Eli is probably sitting there in his chair. Like, check this out. This is what I'm imagining Eli doing. He's like in his chair. He's got this big jar of pickles. You guys know these big, huge pickle jars with the big pickles like that. He's sitting there in his chair, and he's just like eating pickles, you know. And so like every time he's contributing an idea, he's like, make pickles, make it be about pickles. Are you like a cucumber farmer, dude? Come on, man, come clean. All right, a slowing effect, a stun effect. Ooh, it puts them to sleep. Oh, I like it. I like it. These are good ideas. I think we're gonna have to roll dice. Ooh, a banishment effect. Oh, F Park, you, sir, are a genius. I like that idea. You guys, we're doing a banishing effect. Just for one round. Just for one round. It's not going to be crazy, but that will make things so interesting. You get hit, the guy's gone. And imagine the tension. Imagine all of your players are like, they don't know it's one round. You're not going to tell them it's one round. They think that the person is banished maybe for 10 rounds, maybe permanently. They don't know. And so you're going to use that to increase the tension at your table, and everybody's going to be on edge. They're like, oh crap. Oh crap. Do not get hit by that demon flail head thingy bobber. Okay? And of course, obviously in the next round, the person will come back, right? So but just one round, but that will create some awesome tension. Yeah, that's a great idea. That's really cool. That's perfect. Boom shakalaka. All right, so banishment. Flail attack. Banishment. So the damage is the same, and then we will say... Now, banishment is a charisma save, I believe. Additionally, the target must make a DC... I think it should be 17. I think it should be 17 because... You're only going to be banished for one round. The target must make a DC 17 charisma saving throw. I like that it's charisma because the most likely person to be getting attacked by this demon, I'm imagining it's going to be your frontline fighters, your barbarians, right? And they have really bad charisma saving throws historically, usually, unless there's a paladin standing right next to them. So they're probably going to get banished. And that'll create some drama at the table. So I like that. That's a great idea. We're only going to do it for one round. We're not going to roll for it. If we make this too powerful, then it's too powerful. Okay, and then we would have to readjust the challenge rating of the entire monster. So I don't want to go too crazy with it. And besides which, here's the thing, guys. Remember that when you banish a player's character, he's not playing the game. He's sitting there in his seat being bored. Probably the cell phone is going to come out or something. All right. So we want to be careful when we use spell effects that take a player out of the game. It's pretty boring for a player to be sitting out of the game for, I mean, even if he's out of the game for one round, he's not playing the game for maybe 15 minutes. Right. And so we want to be careful with that. So we're not just considering how cool the effect is, but we're also considering how that impacts the fun that our players are going to have. So we're going to stick with one round for reasons. Demiplane until the end of its next turn. There we go. Being banished to a void-like demiplane until the end of its next turn. There we go. I think that's descriptive enough. I think that kind of works. I think that works. And so then, like, at the end of its next term, it'll pop back into place. At the end. That means that player will miss an entire turn, but then will pop back, and everybody's going to be like, whew, it's not permanent. Now, if the Dungeon Master wanted to make this more of a tense moment, he could pretend to be rolling for the number of rounds that person is going to be banished for. And then he comes back after one round, and your players will think that it was only one that you rolled. So you could turn that into a much tenser moment just by pretending to be rolling for that. So Eli says that I'm a moose. I don't know what that means. I have like horns and crap. All right, there we go. All right, what else do we need to do with this bad boy? Are we close to being? No, we had a special ability. We were going to give him a special ability. We're going to give him one special ability. Why is this not working? Why is that not working? There we go. We're going to give him a special ability Oh, he has a multi-attack. We did not fill out his multi-attack box, so we're not going to give him a reaction. Multi-attack. The creature makes 3 attacks, 1 with each flail head. There we go. Bam. That's pretty cool. We were going to do a special ability called Demon's Reach, where the heads of the flail kind of reach out and they grab people and then draw them closer. I think that the flails, so we had, our description of this is that the flails of the head are like skulls. So the skulls could kind of open up, right? And then grab onto somebody and then pull them closer. So I like that idea. We're gonna stat that out. Special ability, Misty Step as a bonus action. That's a good idea. I like that. That's pretty. Sentinel Feet. Now we're getting nasty. Pantheron, now you're thinking like I do. Like I give my monsters, when I want my monsters to be a little bit more challenging, I'll give them a halberd. I'll give them the Sentinel Feet. I'll give them the, what is it, the Great Weapon Mastery or something? Whatever. There are 2 of those that go together that make for a really crazy fun monster. So anyway, we're doing Demon's Reach. So let's get this statted out. Demon's Reach. Demon's Reach. The heads of the flail reach out and grab. We're going to say creatures within 30 feet. And grab up to, grab up to 3 creatures within 30 feet. We're not going to say hit. What we're going to say is targeted creatures must make a DC. We could make it an opposed grapple check, right? But that's more dice rolling, and I think we're going to make it a save DC. What kind of save would it be if a flail head were going to come out and clamp onto you and try to drag you away? What kind of saving throw would that be? I'm almost thinking that that's like either it could be a dexterity saving throw because you're like getting out of the way. It could be a strength saving throw because it's like grabbing you and you're like yanking yourself away. What do you guys think? I don't think it's a Constitution save. It's either a strength or a dexterity. Strength or dexterity. It's a strength or dexterity. All right, we're gonna roll for it. I'm gonna roll a d12, and we're gonna say that a 7 or higher is gonna be a strength. A 7 or higher, a strength. Let the player decide. There you go. Let the player decide. I like that because that makes sense to me. Because if you're a rogue, you're gonna get out of the way. If you're a fighter, you're going to be like, get off from me. So I like that idea, dude. Good idea. Whose idea was that? Bum, 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 bum. Caesar, he says, thank you for doing this. I really like it. As a DM running D&D today, I really appreciate everything you do. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. Fist bump. I'm glad you get value out of this stuff. We're going to make the player can choose which he wants. So must make a DC. What's the DC on this? What should the DC be? 17? The problem I have with 17 is that you're targeting 3 different people with this, and you could pull them up to you. Maybe 17's not that bad, but that might be. I feel like that's a little high, except that for a challenge rating 11, a save DC of 17 is the normal. So we could just do a 17. But I feel like that might be high. So I'm going to go with my gut, and we're going to call it a 15. So yeah, we're going to call it a 15. Must make a DC 15 strength. If I can spell. Strength or dexterity saving throw. Player's choice. Being pulled. Shut up. Being pulled adjacent to the goblin on a failed save. There we go. Now this said prone. I don't think we're going to make the person prone as well, because that makes it quite a bit more powerful than just... I think it's powerful enough to pull 3 creatures closer to you and not also make them prone. So I am not going to do that. However, it should grapple them. It should grapple them. Or being pulled adjacent to the goblin on a failed save. Becoming grappled? Yeah. Becoming grappled and pulled adjacent to the goblin on a failed save. And then we need to make rules for escaping the grapple. A grappled creature can use an action. It's always an action. To use an action to make... Can use an action to make a DC... Let's make it a little easier to escape the grapple. A DC 15... What would it be? It would be athletics or acrobatics check, player's choice, to escape the grapple. There we go. And I think there's better wording for that the monster stat blocks usually use. I don't know what it is offhand, but I think that... Shut up! Hear this kid? This is Guapo. Guapo is down here whining. He wants me to pet him. Oh, that's a really good point. Yeah, that's a good point. Tashio has a point. He says if a flailhead is grappling a creature, then it can't grapple a different creature. So yeah, let's say that. Up to 3 creatures can be grappled at once. And a flailhead grappling a creature can only attack that creature. Attack that creature. I think that's fair. I don't think I'll give them advantage on the attack, but because grappling, restrained, if it's restrained, that would give it advantage for sure. We could make it that. I'm just gonna call it grappled. You know, when you're using this, you guys, you can upgrade it a little bit to restrained if you want and give it advantage. I would want to, and this is a point worth making as well. It's always worth playtesting if you can these things before you run it in a game. Usually though, I don't have time to playtest my monsters, and so what I do is if I were to deploy this monster in a game against my players, I would adjust it on the fly if I felt that it was way more powerful than I intended it to be. That's usually how I do things because I don't have time to playtest. And so I playtest it live with my players and just adjust things if I think they need to be adjusted. So that's how I usually do it. But if you got time, playtest it. Sure, that sounds great. All right. Do we need? I don't think we have anything else pending on this. We could do some more cool stuff, but I kind of feel like I think I'm petering out of steam on the stream, and I think we're going to announce our winners. So there we go. That's that. What I'm going to do, guys, then, these monsters that we created, how many did we make? We only made 3 of them. I was totally planning on doing more of these things, you guys. But what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I will make these available for download for you guys, and we're going to get into announcing our giveaway winner. So that is what we are doing now. So where am I going? We are going to... has everybody entered the giveaway? If there are new people that have not entered the giveaway, I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to enter the giveaway. There is a link down in the description that you need to click to enter the giveaway, obviously. And the secret word is... What did we say it was? I like pie. The secret word is I like pie. So there you go. You have a few minutes to enter the giveaway if you haven't done so already, and then we will be pulling the winners of the giveaway. You can win a shirt from Gorilla Tees, who is the sponsor of today's stream. That's not Gorilla Tees. This is Gorilla Tees. And you're also going to be able to win some tactical tokens from my man Dave over at tacticaltokens.com. So there you go. That is what is available for winning if you win the giveaway. So get in on that bad boy. By the way, guys, if you guys are finding value out of these streams and the videos in general, feel free to join me over on Patreon. I obviously have a Patreon because I'm telling you about it, and my patrons get some cool perks and whatnot. If you haven't joined us on the Discord, there is a link to the Discord down in the description as well. Basically, my Discord community, the whole premise behind my Discord community is a group of dungeon masters that are supporting each other, helping each other out, giving each other advice. I try to pop in there as much as I can as well. That's usually the best way to get a hold of me and whatnot is through my Discord. So there is that as well. So I just wanted to gotta plug the things, you know. So, all right, are we good? Are we ready? Are we ready for the giveaway? Are we ready to do it? We ready for the giveaway? All right, I am entering into the giveaway. Okay, so Eli says, I'm going to make a moose with pickles for legs, and you guys are going to miss out. Yes, I feel that will be missing out as well. Chocolate pie. I don't think Guapo. This guy's going nuts down here. He's rolling around and stuff, man. He's all going nuts down here. Wants me to pet him. I need lunch. I need some lunch. Okay, here we go. We're going to roll this. We're going to pick a winner, guys. We are picking a winner. And I used to pull up this on the screen so you guys could actually see me pick the winner, but it actually shows folks' email addresses, and I don't want to disclose private information. So you're going to have to trust me that I'm not playing favorites. All right, we're drawing winners. Drawing winners. There are invalid actions. Those are mine. That's why they're invalid. All right, we're drawing winners. Here we go. We have 2 winners to draw. If you are the grand prize winner, hopefully you're still in the stream and you're going to be able to choose if you want a t-shirt or if you want the tactical tokens. So here we go. We're ready. We're about to draw it. Drawing. Okay, grand prize winner is, let me just verify. I need to verify that the person did everything properly and is a valid entry. That looks valid. That looks valid. Awesome. So that looks like a valid entry. Grand prize winner, drum roll, is David J. M. David M. Are you in the chat? David M. from Arizona. You know who you are. Are you here? Are you here? David M. David M., if you're here, I need to know, to verify your identity. To verify your identity, you need to tell us what city you're from or something. How could we verify your identity? Something. There he is. Okay, we don't have to verify the identity because his name says David Morand. All right, David, what do you want, dude? Do you want the t-shirt? You're going to get a $15 promotional code to go grab a t-shirt of your choice from Gorilla Tees, or you can get the tactical tokens. So what do you want, buddy? Yes, Phoenix. Awesome. Which one do you want? You want the shirt or do you want the tokens? So a cool looking shirt from Gorilla Tees or some gnarly tokens from Tactical Tokens. What are we going for? What are we going for? Oh, our carnivore says to choose the shirt. All right. Jason wants a shirt. Okay, David wants the tokens. All right, David, I'm going to write this down. So David is taking the tokens, and then the runner-up is, who is the runner-up? It's got it drawn. Francis P. Francis P. is the runner-up. Stand by. I'm sorry. I should have checked to see if that's a valid entry. It's not a valid entry, so that is a false alarm. Sorry, folks. Sorry, not a valid entry. I should have checked that first. I just dashed somebody's hopes. I just dashed somebody's hopes. Stand by. I have to repick that. Repicking a winner. Okay, now let me check to make sure this is a valid entry. Stand by. I like pie. All right, I think we have it. All right, sorry about that, Francis. My apologies, but that was not a valid entry. Our runner-up is Nathan C. Nathan C. Are you in the stream, sir? Nathan C. Speak up, man. Anyway, Nathan C. Is that you? Oh, sweet. Awesome, dude. Yeah. Rock and roll, man. You just won yourself a shirt from Gorilla Tees. There we go. I will, so for Nathan, I will be sending you an email to the email address that you put into your entry, and I will send you the code that you will use to get your shirt. And then for David, you want the tokens, so I will be contacting you by email and asking you where you want me to ship the tokens to, and then I will ship you your tokens. And that's the way that works. And I think we have wrapped up the stream, ladies and gentlemen. I just want to give one last shout out to Gorilla Tees for putting this on, for giving us a shirt to give away, and a shout out to Tactical Tokens for providing tokens for the giveaway. You guys are all awesome. Remember, guys, that you can get 15% off Gorilla Tees using the promo code the DM Lair, and 10% off Tactical Tokens when you use the promo code the DM Lair. And our next stream, guys, is going to be 2 weeks from now. We might be doing this on a Friday night. We might be doing it on a Saturday night. We had a pretty good turnout today. I had somewhere around like 80-ish people at one point, which was similar to the amount of people that were on the stream the last time I did it on Friday. So it seems like both of those times are fairly decent for people. I will probably be doing a poll on my YouTube page and over on the Discord to get an idea of whether a Friday night or a Saturday morning is better for folks. We might alternate too. I might do it sometimes on a Friday, sometimes on a Saturday, so that different people who live in different places can join more often. Because sometimes if I always do it on a Friday and that's bad for you, you can never join us. And so I might actually alternate it. That way more folks have an opportunity to join the streams. So that's it. The next stream, I don't know what the next stream is going to be. We did monster creation for this one. We could do something different. We could do something like encounter creation, or we were doing some adventure creation streams, but those take a long time. We might start focusing more on like nitty gritty things that a dungeon master would do, like creating encounters, creating monsters, creating magic weapons. What other things, things like that. But anyway, next stream will be something fun. If you are on the Discord with us, then you can throw some ideas out there. I might do a poll asking people for ideas for what we could do in our next live stream, because my goal with these is to do something that is practical for you, that actually helps you run your games better and whatnot. And especially if we can delve into something that folks might not know how to do already, that we could help teach them, things like that. So Eli says the mooses will kill you all. That's awesome. Monsters with class levels. I don't know, dude. That's like a 3.5 thing. That might be out of my pay class. You might need a better dungeon master to do that sort of thing, because I don't know. That seems complicated to me. So there we go. Item creation. Item creation would be really cool. That could be really fun, and we could have some really interesting items that come as a result. And that would be good for getting ideas and collaborating. And I have a feeling that creating magic items might not be as noodly and in-depth with rules and stuff as creating monsters. Because you guys saw that creating monsters had a lot of math and thinking and calculating and stuff involved. And so that might be less complicated. So there we go. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. You guys, it's Saturday. You guys all need to go do something fun today. Go make some more monsters or something like that. So there we go. I gotta find my screen where I can hang up. This has been fun, guys. Thanks a lot. We'll see you next time. And until next time, let's play D&D.